Welcome to Unjustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe now and hit the notification bell, and that way you will receive all of our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for being here, and we do hope you enjoy today's video. I need to make a new one of those for the live streams. Welcome, everyone. Loretta,
Hi,
how you all doing tonight? This case has had us completely wrapped up trying to figure it out, and we still haven't figured it out. Trying to rule out what continues to make itself rear its head is hard to do. I've never really caught myself in a case like this, really. And you know, I've covered a lot of cases, but I've never really caught myself in one where I just wanted the one that looks so guilty not to be guilty, you know?
Right. And it's so bizarre. Everything that we've been reading and the stuff that comes up, it's just so bizarre. Hi,
is.
April. Hi, Mary. Hi, Esther.
Yes, good to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Has this case got y'all's mind crazy too? Should I do a poll?
Yeah.
Just to have it. Let's see. Nellie, do you have access to making a poll on yours or no? I don't.
Let me look.
You have to do that on the main screen, not the StreamYard.
Oh, no, I can't. Not from here.
Okay, let's see. Because polls are always a good thing because you can remain anonymous and nobody knows how you voted. So, let me get this set up here, y'all, because I'm curious.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. So how's everybody's Monday night going so far? We were at, 68 degrees for about 10 minutes, and then it went all the way up to 78 today. And then tomorrow's supposed to be 54 with rain. So they're talking snow coming soon, which I don't want.
Ew, the snow? No. But you're lucky you're getting cooler weather. It's so hot here in Texas. It's like, ugh. I mean, we had a breeze today, but it only felt good if you were in the shade. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Esther. I can't type inside the chat. For some reason, I did an update on my phone, and StreamYard will not allow me to do anything anymore. So I'm fixing to get a new phone here to see if that corrects it, because this here is just, I don't know, can't do anything since I got my update on my phone.
You know me. I'm going to say it's because it's the type of phone you have. I hate that phone.
But it's an iPhone 11? Yeah, it's 11. So
I can't stand Apple.
I didn't know you were in the Ozarks.
Who is? Oh, Tracy.
Tracy. Wow. That's supposed to be very pretty there.
I bet you have some beautiful weather going on there.
I bet you Kim went to let the dogs in.
No, I couldn't decide which. I couldn't decide what answers to put. You know, I was like, what should the answers be?
Well,
I almost put herself.
everybody's
Almost,
talking about is Andrew, because he seems to be inserting himself everywhere.
yes. And he's very tacky and he's very shady. And the way he's commenting on things is just, I mean, even, he should at least, if they had nothing to do with this, he should at least be respecting his girlfriend's mother instead of out here commenting like he is. And
Yes.
just to let everybody know, I have made contact with him today in some comments, and I said, hey, jump up on my live tonight and tell your story. We want to know it. So whether he shows up or not, I don't know. Who knows? He's already been here. He's already been on our channel, of course, in the comments. But I told him, hey, show up. But, whether he does or not, who knows?
Yeah, he's been invited by many different creators, and he seems to be speaking up inside the chats a little bit, but mostly in the comments. Hi, Cherokee
Yeah.
Raider.
Yeah, that's what he was doing here. So far we got 11 votes, 73%.
Yeah, and I can't vote.
Yeah.
Oh, it won't let you?
No, because I live in Canada. Well, of course I can't. I can't leave unless I get booted out.
Really?
Yeah, that's ever since I did the update. It won't let me do nothing anymore. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. No, my dogs are still out. You hear them barking. Hi, Callie, Tracy, April, Cherokee. Good to see y'all
Hi,
here with us.
Cherokee.
Good to see y'all here with us. I've been saving up some things, and I probably a lot of y'all have already looked at the video that I made about the whole Venmo with it having the $3,000 limit. How I actually found that is I was just doing my usual lurking, seeing if anything new come out. I was over on Twitter, and then there was this one post by this guy, I think his name was Social Truth, and he said, well, Venmo only has a $3,000 a week limit. So there's when my brain started ticking, tick, 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 and I'm like, wait a minute. So I seen how much she sent on the Venmo, and then I was like, but well, how are you going to get the rest to make that $3,000? So then I figured, well, 600, on that September the 5th with that big heart, and then that $23.85 plus $15, that would be a $3,000 limit. The $15 she could have spent at Dollar or Family Dollar. I keep calling it Dollar General. We don't have a Family Dollar here. So I'm sorry if you hear me call it Dollar General, but either way, they're about the same thing. But anyway, if that were the case, that would be $3,000, right? So I was like, damn, that's a possibility. Yeah, that would be a possibility. So that was tying into my other theory of the whole rehab thing, right? Sort of, because on my rehab thing, which I know some people's had that one out there, but I'm not sure exactly how they were getting it that way, but it would also sort of tie into the whole $3,000 thing. The way I had it figured is September the 5th, there was no explanation of how much money was sent, or there was no note attached or anything like that. It was just a heart, right? Hang on. September the 5th, it was just a heart. So I was like, well, if that was 600, and then this was $23.85, that would leave $15 she could have spent at Family Dollar. That would make the $3,000 limit for that week. But why the $23.85? Well, why the 600? Well, I was thinking maybe September the 5th is when that rehab center called him and said, look, we have the bed becoming available. It's going to be available on September the 12th, which would have been Monday, but you're going to have to pay right now if you want us to hold this bed for you 1 month in advance. And then when you check in, you pay the other 5 months. Well, that 1 month would have been $475. Well, maybe, that Debbie just sent 600, that would give them the money to call in and pay that 1 month. That would leave them like $100 and something for gas and all that kind of stuff to get here with, right? Sorry, y'all, my birds. Stop. And so it all kind of tied in together, but then there was that damn Venmo. How did that come into play? That message, right?
Yeah, that was an awkward message.
Yeah, it really was. And so I was trying to tie that in, and then they come up with, well, her vehicle was seen at $2.17, and she didn't get to the Dollar General till $2.55. Sorry, Family Dollar, till $2.55, which it shouldn't have took her that long with it just being 12 miles. Where did she stop in between there and that Family Dollar? Well, I don't think she stopped anywhere in between. I think she literally passed the Dollar General, went up, picked up Amanda. Amanda lives 2 blocks from that Family Dollar. From what I've seen, right? So went up, picked up Amanda, stopped by, grabbed something to eat, and then and Amanda's like, stop by the Family Dollar. I need to bring Andrew some of these camping supplies because he's going to camp, and then when we get done, and that's what I think. I thought Amanda didn't get out at the Family Dollar with her mom. I think maybe she sat in the back. I don't feel good, laid across the seat. Mom went in and picked it up, put it all in that damn bag so it would be easier for them to tote down there to Andrew. But then I stopped in my tracks. How did that damn, at 3:17, that message? We know she sat in the parking lot and sent that message. We watched that happen. The only thing I could put with that is maybe possibly they were trying to figure out how they were going to be able to get everything done, get that brought to Andrew, get back up there and do that cleaning supply shopping that Amanda said they were going to do. And she said, well, you need to text Steve. Go ahead and text Steve and tell him I'm not going to be home in enough time when he gets off work. But there is a key to the house in the flower pot because he don't have one on his keychain. I don't know. There was nothing else I could figure out about that message. Maybe Amanda just said, they're not going to let me go. I don't know. And told him about the damn key because it definitely is in Steve's name. Now, whether he actually sees the notifications from it, I don't know. But he does. And then there was this theory I read today that just blew me completely away. Battery, gas, script. Can anybody tell me, and I'm not even going to bring this theory out if nobody can tell me, because it's a real jacked up theory, really jacked up theory that I damn sure don't want to believe. And, but can anybody tell me what those 3 items would have in common? And if you can't, I'm not going to get into it because it's a really jacked up theory, but it's so jacked up that you don't want to believe it. But Allison, come on, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to answer me. I didn't want to have to pull out this theory. Yeah. Yeah. But this theory, and it was on Facebook, and I was like, damn it. I hate to admit it, but all of that does align. I don't even want to admit that. I don't even want to think that, but it really does. A coincidence? Possibly, hopefully, but yeah. Okay, Cherokee. I'm going to show, what I did is I saved it. I actually screenshot the theory that this person had because, yeah, I don't either, Allison. She just does not strike me as the type at all. But who the hell knows, right? I mean, I don't know.
Tracy wants you to repeat the items again.
They're here on the screen, honey. It's the money that Debbie sent Amanda and what the money was for. One of them is battery, one of them is for gas, and one of them is for prescription. So
What was it that she bought from the Dollar General? Or sorry, I'll just say the dollar store.
Yeah, I know. We don't have a Family Dollar. We used to like years and years and years ago, but now all we have is Dollar Generals, like every
But
half mile apart.
See, one thing
she
about
bought
making
she
crystal
bought a
meth.
tarp, a poncho, one of those lighter things, and a bag.
Yeah. Yeah,
One
but
thing
look at the
about
things that she sent the money for before that. Now, I don't even like to think about this theory here. I don't
Yeah.
even I can't see at all, Debbie. No, I just can't.
unless
But,
she didn't know.
yeah, oh, that's true too, unless
See,
she
one thing
didn't
about
know.
crystal meth is all the stuff that is needed you find underneath your kitchen cupboard, more or less. And she said that she needed cleaning supplies. So I don't know.
Let me pull up that theory. And please understand, let me disclaimer this right now. This was a theory that I ran across on Facebook. Of course, I removed the person's name because I don't want to cause any problem for nobody. However, that's what we're here doing tonight, is just talking about the different theories that's out there. And I don't know. I just thought this one was like, well, I mean, you can't deny the facts of the case that we have, that it doesn't sort of tie in together. Although I cannot see Debbie being a part of any of this kind of stuff at all. But
Hi, Kara
yes.
J.
But the theory, and I hope these dogs and birds, I guess everybody thinks I got a damn zoo here. But I got, I got my parakeets in here in my office because I don't know, I love to hear birds. And the dogs are outside doing their normal barking at the cat stuff. So anyway, let me read this out real quick. It says, quiet, clear, Debbie was unalived in a chemical explosion, opening a bottle of meth in humid conditions. Sorry, no one wants to believe it. She and Amanda were doing this together. See, I cannot see that, but
No.
I just can't see it. But anyway, the prior Venmos are for battery, script, and gas. Battery, lithium strips, script, Sudafed pills, and gas, ammonia and acid. All of the Venmos are for the components for meth, bought separately to avoid suspicion. The tarp was used to hang over the little dark cave to keep water out. Paper towels were to dry it. Debbie was cloaked. I'm sorry, these damn birds. Debbie was cloaked with no ID, rental car, alibis, visor to hide from the cameras, turned her phone off, hours from home. Knew the way to the hidden spot, was dressed for it. The jersey was a smock, which I beg to differ. On game day, we all wear smocks. I know I got my Auburn on. And by the way, Georgia beat the hell out of us last weekend. This is the lab in a bottle method. Somebody just said it over in chat. I seen it. Shake and bake is what it's called. Just put the stuff in a plastic bottle and let off the gas as it's produced. Easy but dangerous in humid conditions. The bottle blew. Acid plus water equals boom. Sprayed her abdomen with corrosive, toxic, flaming chemicals. That's right, where you would hold it while you was turning the cap. There is no fire used in the cooking, but it makes fire when it explodes. All that is left is the melted bottleneck and burned up remains of what she brought there. And there is, ironically, in one of the photos, a melted bottleneck. I don't know if y'all seen that, but it's there. I seen it. I don't know if I saved a photo, but it's there. The gal I got all of this info from has seen her ex almost burn their house down doing the same thing. The person they bought drugs from was a lady Debbie's age. It's so obvious by every clue and answers everything that doesn't make sense, but too unbelievable for most people. Oh, yeah, but the gal I got the info from, her ex got into it by having back pain, getting prescribed pills, and it went from there, same as Debbie. So, yeah, that's I mean, that is literally one of the theories that's running around out there now. Now, as much as I do not whatsoever wanna believe that's even a possibility, I mean, I can't jump at this guy because it was a guy. I can't jump at this guy and say, "There's no way in hell your theory aligns with the facts," because it does. So, what do you think, y'all? I mean, what do y'all think about that?
Hi, good night, Owl and Gina B. One thing, it does sound like a lot of it, yes, but a lot of it, I can't see her doing that.
I can't either.
So, but how do you explain her top being burnt or melted on the front?
Well, I mean, that's what he said. That's where you would hold the bottle is around that area to open the lid and then the chemical explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened to her clothes then?
See, I
Why
don't
was
know.
she naked? So she made these drugs naked in the woods? I mean,
That's what I'm thinking, but look, we don't know, Nelly, because some of them says partially nude.
Yeah.
Now, but the reports don't say that. The report says nude. Period.
yeah,
It
it just
doesn't
says
say
nude.
partially. Yeah. And we've heard nothing about her shoes, which her shoes looked a half mile too long in this store. I don't know if it's just the way the cameras were on her, but they look like big shoes. But there's no say about any of her shoes, her skirt, or anything like that. Somebody, I just seen it over here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, but she wouldn't have had to drive 70. That's the thing we were just talking about, Susan. Her daughter actually lives 2 blocks from the Family Dollar that she was shopping at. So I think that the reason they saw her vehicle at 217 and everybody is curious as to where she stopped before she got to Family Dollar, because at 217 she was spotted 12 miles, I think it was, from the Family Dollar. But she did not arrive at the Family Dollar till 2:55. She should have arrived much sooner than that. My thought is she passed the Family Dollar altogether and went and picked up Amanda, and Amanda got in the back with her because think about it. She's an office manager, right? So anybody that is used to driving their car and don't really ever have a passenger, where do you set everything? In your passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Your paperwork, your laptop, your purse, all this stuff is in your passenger. It's the catch-all if you're not used to having a passenger with you. So if she did go pick up Amanda, it would have been a hell of a lot easier for Amanda just to scoot in the back seat, like the captain's the back seat back there, instead of having to move everything out of the front seat and put it over into the back seat. So it'd be a whole lot easier for her just to hop in the back. And a whole lot more convenient too, seeing that it has very black tinted windows. So I think maybe she went and picked Amanda up and they stopped by Jack's, McDonald's, because there's a lot of fast food places right there. Grabbed them something to eat, and then they stopped on over to the Family Dollar. And Amanda just didn't feel like going in. Maybe she laid down in the back seat or something. But I believe the reason it took her so long to get to the Family Dollar is for the simple fact that she went and picked Amanda up before. And I mean, again, phone records are going to show that. Surely, her phone record and GPS, her phone was smashed when they found it. Or that's what's being said. Here's the thing with me. Where did they hear that? I did not hear that in that press conference. Did you guys hear that? Because
No,
I didn't.
never heard
No.
that at all.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't hear
either.
that.
All I heard is they did have her phone in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's being reported that her phone was found smashed. See, I haven't seen that. So I can't confirm that. But
See,
at the
one
same
thing where
time, if it was, I mean, hell yeah, it's going to smash with her going down that ravine. What was that, Dave?
one thing about where Debbie lives, there's 6 like dollar stores within 15 minutes of where she lives. So
Yeah.
for her to drive all that way, that'd be the only reason is to go see Amanda.
Yeah, I actually have a map that somebody local, they actually did the drive. And on her drive, she was just, I guess she had her GPS pointing out where each one of them was. And there was a bunch. I think this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, about that, about thinking she was shot. One of the news channels was walking around and found a bullet from a high-powered rifle. That,
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? They could have brought it themselves, or it could have been from a hunter, right? But
Well, I
nobody's
don't know. They
saying
almost debunked the hunter thing because they said it's bow season, unless it'd been there a while. But
unless
if
it
it'd
was there
been
from
there a while,
last year. Yeah.
yeah, why in
Or
the hell
somebody just
didn't they
out target
find it?
practicing.
Yeah,
Well, it depends if anybody's walking through there too, so it's hard to
right.
say.
Did anybody else find it odd that Amanda was hysterical as soon as she got there, like before they even knew
That's
that
right.
her mom? That was so weird. It's like she pulled up and she's already completely hysterical just because it's her car. She could have broke down there. She could have. I mean, for any reason, she's hysterical before even the K9 gets there. The other officers gets there. She's already there and hysterical, cussing out the news crew,
See,
telling
that
them to leave.
Hmm. See, one thing with her too is, well, she got the VMO. Nobody, well, they haven't released who actually has received it or has spent it or anything. But even with that, she spent 2 hours driving around before she called 911, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Say, Mary, I could literally see that happening. I mean, I literally could. I can put myself being Debbie and say, for example, and many of you know, I do have an issue with my daughter, unfortunately. And, I could see your scenario there happening. I could. She says if Debbie took Amanda to deliver what the boyfriend was needing to cook this in the woods, and Debbie found his stuff there and realized that she had got tricked into it, got mad, tried to dump the drugs, which I would as well, in anger, and she was killed. Yeah, maybe she grabbed the bottle. Maybe that's a hell of a good. I mean, going off of that one theory, I could see. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, so I could see me grabbing the bottle, no, and trying to open the lid and throwing it and explode on me.
See, they never even said if she was actually, or if she actually died there either.
Mm-mm. No, that's true.
So
They did. That's
with the
true.
van being so accessible as it was, they could have just, drove her there if something happened somewhere else, drove her there, and then just dumped her off the side of the ravine, and that's it.
but they did
Yeah.
say she was holding on to the tree.
Yeah, as she was falling down, but was that tree branch from there or from somewhere else? So that's the whole thing, because it was a branch, it wasn't an actual tree.
Yeah, I think maybe she was falling and she tried to grab one of these little trees to keep from falling on down into there. And yeah, that's what I think. God, I
So
hope it was
with
my daughter.
autopsy, they haven't released anything else to see if anything else occurred with her. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a month, so it's definitely gonna be coming from the toxicology. There's been no kind of preliminary. In the very beginning of the reports, it did say that it was checked, yes, and then it was unknown. What kind of drugs was unknown, but in the press conference, they said drugs definitely wasn't involved, and it was just kind of procedure to check yes if they could find no other immediate cause of death, which I find very bizarre to do that. It just makes me believe that there should have been something that led them to think the possibility could have been drug related. But that's a big yes to mark if later you're going to come back and redact it. But I do think that could quite fill in the mystery of what took her so long to get to Family Dollar. Do y'all think that's a possibility? Is she went and picked Amanda up?
I think
Could
so.
be.
I mean, because and this, like this, okay, this, I got to get a new mouse.
So what was it? 2 hours, or not 2 hours, sorry. 2 days after they moved back, Debbie finds herself in this demise. And it's like when they did the search warrant on Amanda's house, I guess they were there for like 6 hours. So that's unreal too, for just being there for 2 days.
Obviously, for them to have did a 6-hour search on a small apartment, they were doing some extensive searching, right?
Yeah. When you
yeah,
have
definitely.
Amanda overreacting, and then you have Andrew up in everybody's skirts, all over YouTube, seeing what everybody knows and what their theories are.
Yeah, and it's making me sick the way he's acting. I mean, he's supposedly right there with Amanda, but yet he's acting so cold and not giving a damn.
Yeah.
Did y'all get weird? Did y'all get weird vibes off of her TV interview?
Oh yeah, I got Chris Watts vibes from it immediately.
That's exactly what I. Yep.
I mean, it was. Oh god, yeah. I mean, yeah. It didn't look right. Well, her getting to this location and jumping out and immediately screaming and acting like basically you're seeing her deceased body when they don't even know yet themselves. They haven't even gotten the canine there. The canine's the one that found her body. I mean, she was a quarter of a mile from her van. So they didn't know yet. Maybe her vehicle had just broken down there or something, or who the hell knows, But either way, she was freaking out. And then when the canine got there and they started to go in and search, she's like, well, she can't go far now because she's got a bad back. Like, why are you saying that, man? I would be telling them to search hell in half acres.
If it was my mom missing, I would be. First of all, if I got that weird Vimo, I would be like, what the hell? I would have called the cops already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It almost gave me vibes that she was saying, don't go too far because she couldn't have got far. Like, what? Like, if you're that hysterical when you get there, don't you want them to look every inch of this shit?
Yeah, that's another reason why I thought maybe they brought her there in the van and just dumped her off the side of the ravine, because it wasn't very far until, she was found. And then again, why wait 2 hours?
Exactly.
Why
drive around for 2 hours.
Go into Alta, man. Like, who's not going to let you go? You in there getting a facial and they're like, nope, you're going to be here a while, girl. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, another thing, why didn't she call Steve, like her husband? Why didn't she call him? Hey, I just got this message from Mom. Have you seen her? But he didn't even know anything about it till he got home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. Why would you go riding around? Why not just call 911 immediately and say, look, I just got this message from my mom and it don't make any sense. And then she calls the next day saying, I've got all my mom's iCloud information.
That's right, yeah. And Sherry, nothing has been released, but I don't think so at all.
Yeah, like her vehicle was here. Her body was here. And then that rehab center, oh, I need a new mouse, y'all. That rehab center, yeah, this is where her vehicle was. This is where she was. And then the rehab center is just right beside it. Anyway, my mouse is messed up, but it's very close. But it's hard to get to. And this damn note. But somebody a while ago I seen in the chat was asking about yeah, here. Yeah. Andrew's mom's incarceration. I was reading over some things today, and we were just now talking about this before we started the live. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or not, but his mom's name, and it could mean nothing, right? It could mean nothing. But, you know, us out here in the true crime world, we look at every damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do. His mom's name is Vicky Terrell, and I'm sure a lot of you already know that. Ironically enough, the lead sheriff in this investigation of Habersham County, his last name is Terrell. I found that, I don't know. See, look at his name here. You see that? And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or even thought about it, but out here we do. We look at everything. And when I seen those two last names, and then I noticed and I kept looking and seeing how much his mom was getting in shit in 2021, but yet she was never literally put in prison or anything until just that one trafficking charge. I mean, here's one in, she was 49 too, so that would have been 2021 as well, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And here's one where she, hush, where she had made a threat to someone, you know, and she's like, she's telling this person. So obviously Andrew's got a sister, but she's telling this person, you know, if you ever kick my daughter out again, you will be sorry. I've been to prison and I'm not afraid to go again. And they did put that down as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's that melted bottle lid, y'all, in case anybody hadn't seen the melted bottle lid. But here she is again, probation violation. Again, she's 49 years old. So this is all happening around the same time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a pretty good rap sheet here going on, and it goes back a long way. I mean, this one goes back all the way to 99, and it's just sporadically throughout. You know, she's got a pretty hell of a rap sheet. Here's one, criminal trespassing. We see
there could have went from being inside a store that she was picked up for shoplifting too.
Yeah, theft by shoplifting. There was a burglary too. Yeah, this one is a burglary, a felony burglary. So when you're talking about felony burglary, they normally have a minimum. You know, even a burglary 3 here is like a minimum of like 10 years, right? So she's got a pretty damn big rap sheet. But I don't know. I just thought it was ironic that the sheriff's name is the same as hers.
Well,
And it's not like their last name is Smith or Jones or Parker. You know, it's not one of those common names, or it's not here. Terrell's not a common name here. It's like
right.
anybody that's got that name, everybody's going to be kin to each other. So
Well, see,
I don't
here's
know.
the thing. She had time to send a Vimo and type out a text, but she didn't. I mean, most of the phones now come with the built-in SOS. Like mine, I hit my side button 3 times, and it sends to Josh, my sister, my mom, my dad, and my best friend. It sends them my location where I'm at. It sends a video, a little 5-second video clip, and it sends pictures from the front side of my camera and the back side of my camera. If she had
Oh,
time
wow.
to send out that text message and everything, she would
Yeah.
have had time to do an SOS or even call 911.
Yeah, but there's nobody saying that she actually did send it. It was just her phone. So if
That's
Amanda
my
was in the
point.
back, then
Did she really do that? So
yeah,
if she really did that and she had time to send that, then she would have had time to make a call or sneak a call or something, send a text to someone that could help her. I don't think she sent that message. I really don't.
Well, I know it is written kind of awkward, isn't it? It's just like one long adjoining sentence.
My last message is not going to be me sending money to my son and telling him where a damn key is. I'm sorry. That's not going to be my last
Yeah.
message.
Well, this, yeah, I mean, that's what we were just talking about, Esther. It was, I mean, there's no denying she was sitting in that parking lot when that message was sent. So, I mean, could Amanda have been in the car, right? And she got back in the car and set her phone down. Amanda been in the back seat, and maybe she was, I don't know, thinking or looking. Maybe she was looking at her checking account. Who the hell knows? Maybe she was doing something, and Amanda reached up there and got her damn phone, seeing that she knew all of her iCloud information. Because I usually put my phone there on the center console beside me,
Mm-hmm.
and so maybe she slid up there and got it and sent the damn thing and turned it off and put the phone back there, and Mom didn't even know the phone was off. And after
She could
she
have
got
sent it
done,
while Mom was in the dollar store, you know?
well, see, she walked out of the dollar store at 3:09, and the Venmo was sent at 3:17. So she was sitting in there. Debbie was sitting in the vehicle when it was sent. But the thing is, um,
Well,
Amanda's.
sometimes things have a delayed send though. Like I know when I've sent y'all text messages,
That's
I
true
send
too.
it and y'all don't get it right away. It doesn't go through right away.
That's
And
very
the
true.
area that they were in, it doesn't look like it was a well-populated area. You know, I mean, they're in the woods.
That's true, Nellie. That's a hell of a good point because a lot of times, like when I send the girls a Cash App or something, they don't get it for like 5-10 minutes. So that's one hell of a good point, really good point. Um, and maybe she turned her phone off and Debbie didn't even know her phone was turned off.
Right?
Maybe she didn't even know it was. I mean, they seen that her phone powered off
And
at just as
didn't
soon as
didn't
that.
they tell the cops that she only had her ID and her credit card? That was it?
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
so maybe I'm thinking that's why Debbie took that purse that day. I think she took it deliberately because she had that Venmo card only to use for Amanda. And so she left her other stuff at home so Amanda wouldn't be up her ass. Can you not use this credit card and send it? Or can you not, you can see how kids are. Well, use the other credit card then. And she's like, no, I ain't bringing them because she's going to be up my ass to use them if I do.
yeah, because they initially first said that she didn't take her purse or anything except for her debit card.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, but she clearly had a purse on when she walked
That's
into
right.
that dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way she was looking at that purse, she didn't have a damn thing in it because if you'll see out of second nature, she acted like she was going to reach in her purse and maybe get her wallet and her card. And then she was like, she happened to think, oh, yeah. And then she reached over like in her right pocket and got her card out and put it in the thing. Then when she took it back out of the thing, she didn't even put it back in the purse. She put it
No,
back
she
in
put
her
it back in her
pocket.
pocket.
Yeah, so it was like second nature she was reaching. That's what got me. Her second nature reached to her purse where she always keeps her cards, obviously, but then she happened to dawn on her, wait a minute, wrong purse. I put the card, why would her card have been in her pocket if she didn't get gas or something? You know, maybe she didn't want
unless
Amanda
it was her
going through
daughter's
it.
card, you know.
Or maybe she didn't want Amanda going through her purse and getting the damn card.
True.
You know, I mean, it's so jacked up, y'all. And that message is what keeps stopping me in my tracks. I'm not confused anymore in my own mind of why it took her so long from 217 to 255 to get, because I don't think she stopped. I think she picked up Amanda. Maybe Amanda said, well, you know, Andrew's down here in these woods. He's going to camp because if he stays here, the law's going to pick him up because he didn't do that damn rehab that he was scheduled to do in April. He didn't do that, so they're looking for him now. So he's going to camp in these woods, and we've got to have that money paid by Monday, which ironically, he would have owed $2,375 to pay for 5 months of that rehab. That would pay this 5 months and got him out of trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she's like, he's going to set up camp before it gets too dark. You know, can we stop by Family Dollar, pick these things up for him, bring it to him, and then we'll go back to town and get some cleaning supplies and stuff. Bring him something to eat. And, you know, because there was a hell of a fight the night before at their house. The neighbors heard that. So maybe she was
they
trying
heard
to,
the daughter and
yeah.
they heard the daughter screaming.
Yeah, I think that when Amanda may have went there to pick up some blankets and towels or something like that. And Amanda was talking to Debbie and trying to talk her into paying that rehab for him so he wouldn't go to jail. And I think Steve overheard it and raised hell. I'm not paying for his rehab. Steve got pissed off and went to bed. And Debbie just went to another room and Amanda left. And Debbie's like, look, I'll come up there tomorrow when I get up, do some things around the house. I'll take you and get some cleaning supplies and we'll just talk about it then. I mean, because why else would she have been that far away from home to go to Family Dollar and then stop in the woods with a bunch of damn whatever that was? Whatever that off the wall stuff was. It definitely wasn't cleaning supplies like Amanda said they were going to buy cleaning supplies that day. So, you know, if that's
I don't know. The whole
possibility,
thing's bizarre. It just doesn't add up.
it don't. It just doesn't. Like in the beginning, I thought this was going to be a cut and dry case, man. I didn't want it to be that way, but it's like as soon as I saw the daughter's interview, I was like, there's no way in hell.
Mm-hmm.
No way. She got that message and rode around to Ulta and Walmart for 2 hours and then finally went to her dad or her stepdad's and didn't even call him. No, this ain't this, nope. Too much Chris Watts vibes here. And then I was like, for the love of God, don't let that be her daughter. You know, that's the only thing that's still in my mind. I don't want that to have been the last thing Debbie's seen. Is her daughter betraying her like that. I just can't even think about that.
Yeah, no.
You know, just and this Andrew, if you're listening, bring your ass up here. Because I think what these comments he's making are sickening.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
Let me show you some. I don't know if that it just made me sick. I mean, he should be if they had nothing to do with it, or if he had nothing to do with it, then he should be supporting Amanda instead of out here cracking jokes and making laughs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just it makes me so mad.
I wonder why Amanda wouldn't speak to Debbie's sister either. That doesn't make sense either.
No, and you know, all her family is from like here. Like I live maybe 15 minutes from her whole family where she's from. Yeah. Pretty sure I even know some of them, you know. Of course, I'm not going to bother them because they don't know nothing either.
Right.
You see, here it says at the scene, see, Amanda and the stepfather were both at the scene the day Debbie's body was found. The police notified them of the location where the vehicle was at. And at the scene, Steve was calm and collected. But Amanda grew irate when she learned that the media was there, and she tried to get authorities to remove the newspaper from the scene. And she kept screaming obscenities to them over and over.
See,
You know. Here's one that where today that Andrew, he said circumstantial evidence and speculations are very different things. Well, they are, but they can also go together. I mean, what that is circumstantial. I mean, circumstantial is something that is not physical or material, and you can't necessarily prove with evidence. So I don't know. They kind of go together there, Andrew. See here, he says, I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Here he says, I never use drugs other than weed. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Which is, I don't know. He looked like he was geeking to me in that interview. Then here he tells someone, okay, detective. And see, I mean, all this is all uncalled for. Should he not be with his wife or
consoling
girlfriend?
her. Yeah, consoling her.
Yeah, I mean, they've been together for a long time. There was one, he said, I don't know if I saved it. See, here he's laughing like hell, and it says, suspicious to me. I'm not sure your daughter and boyfriend are smart enough to even think this up. And he said, or dumb enough. Laughing, and then, I don't know. And here, this is her vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here he's like, it's the ramen noodles that does it for me. I'm clearly having trouble adjusting to life outside the jail. And then he's like, cool story. I mean, is it just me, or is that cringeworthy as hell?
No, it's not just you. It's very cringeworthy.
I'm convinced that the true crime community is going to solve this case before the police and FBI do. And he's down here laughing my ass off, smoke another one. I mean, is that any way to be talking? This dude's got some serious issues. Amanda needs to kick his ass to the curb, for one. If she had nothing to do with this, get rid of him. He's trash, obviously. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, that's just some bad stuff to be saying or even acting like. Here he says, I think they is whoever did this, but you wouldn't text your daughter a killer's name for obvious reasons. It would make her an immediate target. Probably been about 5 months since he beat me up. This is some damn fight he's talking about. I mean, he's showing no kind of grief or anything, or nothing.
Again, they're going
makes
to
me
allow
sick.
her to text somebody. That I just don't buy that.
No.
They're not going to allow her to text somebody, and they're sure as shit not going to allow her to send money.
Let me see. Let me bring that house up. Yeah, it's Steve's house that she lives in. It's on Tallahassee Road. And hang on, I just seen it. Here it is. That ain't the address. Hang on.
Susan's asking, where did the officer see her van at 5 p.m. the day before?
Hi, Cement Shoes.
Tallahassee Road. It's in a county general district. I don't see where. I don't see where it says, but here, locals. How far is this Family Dollar from the daughter's house? 2 blocks. She lives next to a Taco Bell. So, yeah. All right,
I
let's look
agree,
at the
Mary.
chat.
Susan Lee wants to know,
Mhm.
where did the officer see her van at 5 p.m. the day before?
It was right there where it was found. I mean, where it was located. It was in the same place. Hang on. I'll bring up.
It just parked on the side.
Yeah,
In
same
that
exact
little.
place. Yeah. But there's something about the report that got to me. And people's reading it differently. I read it, the way I read it was that the officer, and I think his name was Forrester, if I'm not mistaken. I'll pull it up in just a second. But he seen the vehicle there, or he saw the vehicle there. Sorry, my scenes and saws are off. At 5 p.m. But the way I was reading it is he stopped and he got out and he went into the woods a little piece to investigate and didn't see anything. And it really wasn't unusual. So he didn't think much about it. Okay, now others are saying that no, he did not get out and go into the woods. But see, the way I read it is he did. So actually, I'm going to pull that up and see how y'all take that part, because that's the way I took it when I read it. And I'm going to pull up Sleuthy. If any of you are on Twitter, you know who I'm talking about. Sleuthy, she does some damn good timelines. Are very, very, very good. So let me see. It should be here. It was on the 11th. See, that all this happened on the 11th. I think this may be it, maybe. Yeah, this is it. Okay, now let me. How are you reading this? Let me get to it. Yeah, his name was Forrester. Where's it at? Okay, I'm having a hard. Do y'all see where it says it? Let's see.
It's hard to see. It's so little on my end.
He observed a vehicle parked in what appeared to be a pull-off that leads to an old logging road directly off Georgia 15 northbound prior to Victory Home Lane. Sergeant Neal was notified by Foster that he had observed this vehicle in the same spot at approximately 5 p.m. on September the 10th, but informed Sergeant Neal that vehicles routinely pull into this area. Foster also advised Sergeant Neal that the vehicle was unlocked and was unoccupied. He also stated that he had walked into the woodline a short distance to see if he could immediately locate Collier, but was unable to. See, that's the part right there that people are they're seeing it differently. Some people is thinking that this means no. When he seen it at 5 p.m., he didn't get out. He just noticed it there and didn't pay any attention. But the way I read it is he did check. He stopped, looked at the vehicle, saw that it was unlocked and unoccupied, and he walked into the woods just a little bit, didn't see nothing, and didn't think much more about it. That's the way I read it. So, I mean, how do you read that?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's saying that he did check it out at 5 p.m. that Friday, but didn't find anything peculiar about it. Is that how you read that, Dave, or do you read it that he didn't
No,
stop?
I read it the same way. I guess I have to wait to see what the autopsy actually reads, when the
Yeah.
time of death was, and
Yeah,
again
but
the cause of death.
why would it be in the same paragraph
I
talking
don't
about the
know.
same day if he didn't actually do it?
Right.
Because he says, he didn't think much about it, but he also said that the vehicle was unlocked and unoccupied. And he also stated that he walked into the wood line just a short distance to see if he could immediately locate Collier, but wasn't able to do so. So see that it's kind of confusing right there, because at the time he wouldn't have known it was Collier, right? Because it was a
Right.
rented van, so it wouldn't have been in her name.
That's right. Yeah.
So I don't get it unless it says it was unlocked. So unless he opened the door and maybe seen her something in there, her work or something with her name on it, but I don't know. That one, there's a lot of speculation. Yeah, he did go into the woods or no, he didn't. I read that he did. That's the way I read into it.
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
Another thing too, with her burnt clothing the way it was, if she actually did do that and like there was a flame or something that burned her clothes, that would actually show up in her lungs too. So
Yeah,
when the
that's true.
autopsy comes
Yep.
back, they'll be able to find out if that was the actual cause of death.
Yeah, that's very true, Dave. Oh, there's bubblegum and lip gloss.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. She's so sweet. Glad you're here, honey. She's so sweet. She always leaves the sweetest comments. I try to comment back, but I don't always get to. I heard he looked around the rental car, but later she was found by the search dogs. Yeah, on the 11th, but that was on the 10th that he saw it on the 10th that evening at 5, and she left the Family Dollar at 3:19, which there again, I mean, was she there before 5? Nobody knows. With that being such a busy road, so many people with dash cams, surely someone would have noticed. I'm just wondering, was there a car there with her before 5 when the cops seen it. Because the cop didn't say anything about another vehicle being there at 5 the day before. Like, I don't think it was very long after she left that Family Dollar. I think it was shortly thereafter that she was killed. I definitely don't think it is a suicide. There's a one channel, or was, that was just damn adamant that it was a suicide. No. One, that's already been ruled out.
Yeah, the cops ruled that out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they ruled it a homicide.
Absolutely. They said they are damn sure investigating it as a homicide. They say personal. So when you use the word personal, you're talking about, most of the time they use personal as like strangulation. Even sometimes stabbing can be personal. Personal pretty much means right up close to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what, like
Up
within
and
your
personable.
space. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Instead of like a gun, you could do it from far. No, it was personal, and normally it's more on a strangulation kind of thing when they
Yeah.
use that term.
Unless there was like a knife attack where instead of stabbing somebody once, they'll stab them 16 times.
Yeah, and then that actually that kind of makes it more personal and more
Yes.
rage.
Yeah.
So, and they say deliberate as well. They're using the word deliberate a lot. So it wasn't an accident, obviously, if it was deliberate. So they pretty much ruled out an accident as well. So that would actually throw that one theory all to hell about the whole meth making stuff, because that would obviously be an accident.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying deliberate. So that it's just, they're giving us just enough where it's really jacking with our heads, to be honest. They got a lot more. They know more. The FBI is involved now too, and many people thinks that Habersham has reached out to the FBI and asked for help. No. FBI actually reached out to Habersham and asked them, did they need any help with the case? I've also read where people thinks it's possibly because it was on federal land. But there again, it's not. That is a state park. It's not a federal park. It's not a national park. It is a state park. So that throws that theory out. Another reason with federal, we know wire transfer money, just like with Brian Laundrie, using her card. That's how the feds got involved there, right? One of the reasons before they knew where she was on national park. But in the beginning, they were looking for him because of it was wire fraud. He was using her card. So I think anything with wiring money around, that's a federal offense as well. But the bottom line is FBI reached out to them and asked did they need more help. I don't know if it's because of monetary reasons, because phone records and all this kind of stuff being subpoenaed and all this, it's expensive. Habersham, from the way I'm getting it, is a very small town. So maybe, FBI decided to reach out to them and offer that assistance. Georgia Bureau of Investigation, I have not seen that they have even offered any assistance. And maybe they have, but I have not read anything about that. Yeah, you don't burn yourself naked, Eliza. That's one of the reasons in the beginning. Oh, gotta love a motorcycle. That's one of the reasons in the beginning that I was like, there's no way this is a suicide. There's no way. I mean, damn, if she wanted to suicide, why would she go to all this trouble, strip herself nude, walk out? And I mean, no, there's a whole hell of a lot easier ways to do that. Then, I mean, you wouldn't want to be found that way. A lady her age, a lady my age, Nellie's age, hell, no woman's going to want to be found nude. That's in the woods. I mean, hell, she would have done something at home, right? No, it wasn't a suicide. And I know there is one channel, I ain't calling it, but it was really hardcore on literally saying that anybody that didn't think it was a suicide was an idiot. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Like, just to be quite honest, if you think it's a suicide, then what? Just because she bought the stuff that was her ultimate ending doesn't mean she bought it to be her ultimate ending. In my opinion, she got mad. Amanda brought Andrew back with her. He told her, shh. He told her that he would stay with family and friends in Clayton. She gave a ride. He said, friend canceled. Going to camp instead. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe he was camping. Oh, my goodness. Shh. Libby. My birds' names are Liberty. I call her Libby. Justice and Sam. Uncle Sam. I got 3. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to
put some stuff in there so they could build a nest?
Oh, honey, they got all kind of stuff in there.
Okay.
They got a little, these little deals. I bought them. It's called a nesting bed. They got a couple of those in there. I thought about just setting me up I would love to set me up a birdie cam, but I can't because my internet hates my camera.
Okay.
Does it start with a G? Yeah, it actually does. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, and I'm not throwing off on any, I mean, everybody's got a right to their own opinions and thoughts, and I'm all about them, and that's why I stroll around and listen to things, but that one, I just couldn't agree with. I couldn't even make it make sense. I couldn't make it fit. So
I was wondering too, like Laura has there that she was seen driving north to a Family Dollar, okay, and caught on camera. Is there any actual cameras that actually shows her driving, or just the van?
Yeah, it's just that one that I just had up while ago at 2:17. That's the only one that we have been given. Libby. Jesus.
Should have called
Karen. Yeah, should have. That's the only one that we have been given, is that one at 2:17. Okay. But I believe they've got more. I really do. I just don't think they're turning them over to us yet. I believe they've got them wherever she stopped before she got to Family Dollar, but they're not giving them to us yet. They're holding their cards close to their chest for a damn good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think she was trying to get everything done so she could get back home before Steve got off work. Dave, Nellie, y'all talk to the chat for just 1 second. I'm going to give Libby some food.
Poor birds. Going crazy.
Too bad she muted.
I know, right?
Giving her hell. Oh, well. But no, there's a lot of things with this case that just doesn't seem right at all, but it is pointing towards Amanda and of course her boyfriend. So he's just, I don't know, there's no remorse, there's no empathy at all there with that guy. And if you look at all the charges between him and his mom, it's like that's how he grew up, is more or less streetwise. So yeah, it's just, there's no empathy whatsoever there. But I don't know, they must be waiting on something to come back before they can make some arrests. So if it's DNA or what, I'm not sure. So what do you think, Nellie?
I hate to say it, but
there's no way that it was suicide.
No, there is no way.
No.
Who's gonna burn themselves to kill themselves? That's no.
No, not with the police coming right out too and saying that it is homicide. So
I think that I'm sorry, I'm agreeing with a lot of people on here. I think the daughter and the boyfriend had something to do with it. It just doesn't add up, and the things that they're saying, especially him, he's just vile.
I don't know. Andrew seems to be in everybody's, like any YouTuber that's around that's ever even mentioned the case. He seems to be right up there asking or trying to find out what their theory is to see if he's involved by the looks and sounds of things. So most people wouldn't do that.
In his comments, they're treating us like suspects. Well, of course they are. You are the closest to them,
Yeah,
to her.
especially when
It's always the closest person to you that they're going to check first.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you
And
can't rule out her husband either because he could have had somebody else do it for him. So, but everybody says that them two were so in love that there was no way that he would have any involvement whatsoever. It just that it seems really, really suspicious that 2 days after Amanda moves back and here Debbie's found dead, so.
Yeah, I don't think the husband had anything to do with it.
No.
I just don't feel that. I don't get that vibe from him. And
no, I don't either. And I think that's probably how they met. Think about it. He flips real estate, it looks like. And
Yeah.
here she is, the manager of a real estate company. And that's, I'm sure that's how they met. And you could tell he was almost sort of embarrassed to say that she didn't sleep in the same room with him because of his snoring. And
That's right. Yeah.
a lot of people don't get that, but after you're old and you've been, you just, yeah, I could see me doing that. If Randy snored crazy, I'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm sleeping in here, it's once you get older and, you just don't care. It ain't
I don't
a
know.
big thing.
One thing with
Yeah.
him too, the kind of guy he is, he might be blaming it on his snoring because with her, if she's having that many back problems, she might be blaming it on her back from tossing and turning too. And he'd be,
Right.
it sounds like the kind of guy that would blame it on himself. And it
Yeah.
looks like Mary's here finally. She was in charge of
Oh,
beverages
there she
tonight.
is. Hey, Mary. Good to see you, sweetheart. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe, okay, they got in on the 8th. They got it in on the 8th. That big argument people heard on the 9th. So I'm thinking maybe Amanda went to her house because I think on the 9th, now this is all obviously speculation and theory, but I'm thinking on the 9th that maybe Debbie took Amanda around, helped her get the utilities on and all those kinds of things, because they said that she brought them dinner. So maybe she took her around and done those kinds of things. And then that night, Amanda went to their house to maybe get some blankets and towels and things like that, and Steve could have overheard him talking about paying his rehab. I swear. I think I don't know why my mind keeps going there, but it does. And Steve's like, oh, hell no. I don't think Steve likes him. Obviously not, because I believe he was abusive to Amanda. I do. Because look, she had those bruises on her, just different things. And not to mention, fighting is obviously in his blood and his mom's making threats to people. So, when you put everything as a whole, I believe he's a very high-tempered, and I believe he was abusive. I don't have no confirmation of that except the bruises on Amanda and the arrest reports and the protection orders. But hey, that's enough, right? And I believe he was abusive to her. And so I think Steve don't like him. And Steve's like, I'm not paying that little fucker. I'm not paying his rehab. That ain't my problem. And I think Debbie's like, well, if we do this, Amanda will be in that apartment. He won't be there. And I think Debbie and Steve may have gotten in an argument about that night, and then not a fighting argument, but just, no, just that kind of argument. And I think when he left the next morning, he was probably still heated. And he just left. He didn't even go in there to tell her bye or nothing. But then the next time he heard from her, that. So yeah, he's probably got a hell of a lot of regret,
See, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's all weird behavior. That's suspicious.
Sorry, I was getting text. But I mean, I could see that happening, right? A mom, a stepdad, and the mom trying to say, look, get him in this rehab. That way, maybe during the 6 months, she'll find somebody else and get the hell away from him, and she'll get a job and by the time he gets out, she'll already be with somebody else or something like that. And, the money, yeah, it's going to keep him out of jail, but yet it's also going to keep him away from her. And I can possibly see that going down, and then him being like, I ain't paying nothing for him. But Debbie's still thinking, well, I'm going to sneak around and make this work because I want my daughter away from him. I'm just saying, I'm that mama, right? I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. And I don't think Steve had nothing to do with it. I think Steve is like Dave said, I think he's blaming himself, and not just for that. I believe the argument they had that night. And now, Steve knows about the money now. And so probably in his head, he's thinking she was trying to sneak around and give her that money. And if I'd have just said, yeah.
I guess the biggest thing now is to wait and see who actually received the money and if that money was actually taken from that account too.
You would think they would have put a freeze on it. I mean, had Amanda have actually called the police right when she got it, or Steve, or anyone other than right around here and there.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like they gave them time in order to do so.
Yeah, because the account was in Steve's name.
Yeah.
Which
either or, if they touched the money or not, they would still have explaining to do why that money was sent to them. So
yeah.
But it'd be a bigger thing if whoever it was that received it actually used it.
Yeah, I thought that too, Allison, but there again, going back with my situation with my daughter, I cut my daughter off too, as far as giving her cash. And that brings me back down the road of, they said that Debbie brought them dinner the day before. Debbie was taking her to buy cleaning supplies. Debbie was taking her to do these things. There's a reason for that. When you have a child that way, you don't want to give them cash. Like, you will inconvenience your own self to take them food, take them yourself to the store to buy the cleaning supplies instead of giving them the cash and trusting that they're going to do it themselves. So you'll literally inconvenience your own self by having to drive 2 hours just to bring somebody, I don't know, a bag of McDonald's, because you just can't trust giving them the cash. Because you're afraid that cash you give them could be the money that ends up causing you to get that call.
Yeah. That's the same as people standing outside of a coffee shop with a tin can asking for money, and then you go to buy them a coffee and they don't want it. They want the money.
Yeah. I mean, the reason's so bad, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, man. The reason this case has hit me so hard is my daughter, many of you know, got, and still is, unfortunately, even though she's been through rehabs, got in this situation with addiction and an abusive guy. And mother will do anything. You don't want to see your kids starve. You don't want to see them in the streets, but yet that anytime you give them a $20 bill, you could be giving them the money that ends their life. So you will inconvenience the hell out of yourself to drive 2 hours to hand them a McDonald's bag when it would be so much easier just to wire them $20, but that $20 could be that phone call too. You just don't trust them no more. You see what I'm saying? And so when I was putting everything together and she took them dinner and she took her to run errands and she was taking her to buy cleaning supplies, well, I believe there was a reason for that. That's because she didn't trust her to give her the cash to do it herself. Tough love. That's right, Mary. And that's what it is. I mean, it's your child, man. You don't want them to starve and you don't want them to sleep in a park if you can do anything about it. You got to cut them off financially, but at the same time, you try to make sure they are eating and the necessities, the things mamas does. If you can, I mean, to your ability. The thing with Andrew and this rehab, ironically, that amount would have really just paid him right up to do this 5-month thing. As far as why it said they're not going to let me go, I have no idea. That I don't get. That's why it leads me to think she didn't send that message. I mean, I don't know. It is an all-male facility, so maybe they wouldn't let her go in and pay it. Maybe it was like, well, they're not going to let me go in and pay it. So here you go. They're not going to let me go. But why the key in the flower pot? I mean, come on. It just don't make sense.
Yeah, they were talking on other channels too about could it be just bad grammar or somebody that's not used to texting and didn't put any punctuation in there too. So they were all trying to figure out different sayings on like the whole structure of the sentence and how it could be taken. And they came up with so many different ways. But it still is what it is. So it comes down to who actually has that money in their hand.
That's true. And like Allison said, Yana, I mean, it's a fact. As far as we know and the facts and evidence that we have, the only they is Amanda and Andrew.
Yeah.
I mean, that is literally, if she said, that's the only they. There's not another one. There's no way Steve could have did it himself. Think about it. He got off work at 4:06. Game day traffic. If anybody's ever been to a college football game, especially first game, kickoff, hell, it's going to take you 30 minutes to an hour to get from one stoplight to the next. He got off at 4:06. There is no way in hell he could have drove 120-mile round trip, and that's what it would have been, where she was at, to his house, and been back home by 6 p.m. in game day traffic. There's no way. So there's no way possibly, and he has got an airtight alibi, till 4:06. And I'm sure you could look at the traffic and there's no way he could have got too far. Definitely not 120 miles by 6 o'clock. No, couldn't have did it. Yeah, Gina, all the young people I know, they don't use any punctuation. Actually, most of them don't even spell words. They just, I'm bad about IDK and, things like that. But hell, sometimes I can't even read what my son's writing. I'm like, what? He's got 2 letters for a word that should be 8 letters, 10 letters, But I'm getting better with it, because it's BC without W. I'm getting better with it, but I'm just saying they don't. They don't. They just use the acronyms and all that for everything.
That, and sometimes you have to ask what part of the South you're from.
Yeah, that too. See, Allison, yeah, it took us 2 hours to leave a NASCAR track, and that was last year when we was going to the Auburn game, damn, it took us, yeah, like she says, 2 hours just to hell, it took us 30 minutes just to get out of the parking lot. Game day traffic, it don't move. It don't move fast at all. And then plus there's people walking everywhere, so there's no way possible. He could have did anything physically himself. Now, people says possibly, he hired somebody. I don't think so. I mean, I don't see Steve involved at all. At all.
Huh.
Whatever. One's moral compass says drugs will help cross boundaries. It will. Like I have seen things I would have never thought. We do cases on mothers that does the unthinkable to their own children because they're convinced that their own child is possessed and they say they were just excellent mothers before they got on this stuff. And no, I'm not going to my daughter on this one because that ain't happened. But I'm just saying it does happen because we do stories on this. It completely changes them. Their minds they're not even the same person. It's like watching a actual reality show
Yeah.
of The Walking Dead. They're like zombies. It's crazy.
Well, there was 2 in the last month that involved infants, and one they left in a, what did they call it? It's like a jolly jumper in a corner, and they just put their daughter in there and left her there, and she was there for 14 days without food or water or anything. Then there was another one that put her daughter inside a microwave, and it's like all from drugs, from doing meth.
Yeah. I mean, it just completely changes them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Allison. I mean, yeah, she's an office manager. So even if you're just trying to send something quickly, I mean, things like that just come second nature, right? It does to me. It's second nature to just, I don't know. I don't know. And and love you. That just seems like it's in the wrong place.
Yeah,
That should be at the end, not in the middle.
that's right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, they were going to end it with, they won't let me go, love you. But then all of a sudden they decided to add something more to it. I mean, love you should be at the end, not in the middle. So I think they sat and looked at that message for a minute and decided to add the whole flower pot thing also because love you should not be right there in the middle. I mean, if you was going to write that, wouldn't you put it at the end? Or why would you just say they if you knew damn well that nobody was going to know who in the hell they was? Like, wouldn't you want to say, hey, I've been kidnapped. They ain't going to let me go. Here's the money that I've got left. And here's the key to the flower pot or whatever it was. I mean, you wouldn't just say they. I heard in another creator's video that the boyfriend was going to to an all male rehab center and that the amount correlated. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. It would have been. Actually it would have been $475. It would have been $475. Oh, and they won't let me go. I was thinking maybe it was because it was an all male and they wouldn't let Debbie go in and pay it because she had been going everywhere, buying their lunch, buying their cleaning supplies, taking them all these places to do it, even though they had a vehicle because she didn't want to give, she wasn't comfortable giving them cash. But they're not going to let her go in this all male facility. I don't know. So it's a Venmo transfer and message part of a setup by Amanda as an attempt to throw off investigators. Was it a botched stage crime scene made to look like a rat? That's That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, maybe, that's what it sounds like to me. I just don't think Debbie wrote that. Like Allison said, man, she's a pretty intelligent woman, The key to the flower pot gives Amanda an excuse to be in Debbie's house before. Yeah. Very good point. It would. But why in the hell didn't Amanda call Steve instead of start running around to Ulta and Walmart, man? Why didn't she call Steve and say, look, I just got this message from Mom, and it's really weird. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Steve didn't know about the money, obviously, because in his 911 call, he never mentioned money. He said the only thing it says, he never even mentioned the key either. He said the only thing it says is they won't let me go. So obviously Amanda said, look, I just got this message from Mom, and she read it to him or something. Or maybe she put her finger over the money or whatever. A lot of guys don't know. Randy don't know anything about apps and stuff like that. I mean, he don't know nothing about it. So that would be easy to pull off for him. So yeah, I don't think Steve even knew about that part of the message. I'm sure he does now, and obviously he would have told the police when he called. They sent my stepdaughter money and said they wasn't going to let her go. He would have said that, but he said no. The only thing it says is they won't let me go. So I don't think he knew. She didn't tell him. It said that. And when he said that, she didn't correct him either. Because they was like, is that the only thing the message said? And he said, yeah, that's it. And she didn't correct him, and she was standing there with him. That's all it said. That's what he said. If some stranger abducted her, they aren't going to let her be using her phone anyway. Yeah, exactly. It had to be someone familiar. And then isn't it ironic that Amanda also called them the next day and said, I have all of her iCloud information, but I guess she changed her password. No, I think Amanda changed her password. I mean, if Amanda has the Venmo app on her phone, I mean, let's be honest, all she had to do was log out of her account and log into her mom's and send it to herself. And if her mom's iCloud, we all know, everybody that's got an iPhone, you've also got what's called keychain, and it saves all your password in your cloud if you use the keychain. And a lot of people do. So maybe that's how she had her Venmo password. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I've tried real hard. I've tried like hell to rule Amanda out. Nellie and Dave know that. I've tried real hard, but every time I try, something comes up, puts them back in it. Like I can't take them out. I want to. Can anybody tell me a way I can take them out? Because I'd love to.
I don't think anybody's ever mentioned what their drug addiction is, but it's more than likely crystal meth because it's the cheapest out there, so they can get the most for their money. And with crystal meth, I know some that were up like 14 days without sleep. So their only thing is either, usually stealing, just to go get more money so they can do some more meth. And they're like zombies. They don't see or feel or anything at all. Their mind is, stealing something just to go hawk it so they can get more drugs, and that's it. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a one-track mind, man. When people will leave their children, they will leave their homes, they will leave everything they got, then they'll do anything for it. It's it's such a damn shame,
That
but
and
it's a
crystal meth,
fact.
it's a one-time deal. You do it once and you're hooked for life.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a damn shame.
And with it too, you can either shoot it or you can snort it or you can smoke it. And
Yeah.
usually you can tell who's doing what because they come up with different body sores and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um, they lose their teeth. Whole like you can tell each and every one of them how
Oh
they're
yeah. It's like it eats you from the inside out.
yeah, because one of the things that was in it was Drano. So like
Damn
all
it.
that stuff is corrosive. So if you're
Yeah.
snorting it or eating it or whatever,
Right.
so
Tracy says law enforcement did say they was not sure what device, and they did say that, and I found that kind of ironic too, because Steve would have more than happily told him, yeah, let's look at my phone records. He wouldn't have tried to, you got to get a subpoena for him or whatever. So it looks like they could have told if it come from her phone earlier than the press conference. So I don't know. It almost leans towards it didn't come from her phone. And Amanda, with her calling and just out of the blue saying, hey, I've got my mom's iCloud information, but not her password. Like, I think she changed her password because we all know how iPhone is and their security, right? It's hell to break an iPhone password. Like, you just can't hardly do it. We've even had terrorist attacks over here, and the FBI cannot even get Apple to open that up, for a terrorist attack. So I'm thinking that if she knew all of her mom's iCloud information, possibly her passwords were saved in the keychain in iCloud, then it would have been so super easy to log out of her own Venmo, logged into her mom's, send the money to herself, and then, log back out of mom's and then turn mom's phone off after she got back in the vehicle right before she starts to pull out. I don't know. And that would still be putting Amanda being the mastermind of taking the money. But then again, with the they won't let me go, that puts it in the mastermind if she knew her mom was going to meet her death. Which is, I don't want to think that way, but how the hell else are you supposed to look at it? I mean, seriously, how else can you see it? Yeah, that they should be releasing something real soon, right? They did those search warrants on the 14th. So here we are almost 2 weeks later. So they should be releasing something.
yeah. But look at this other case that we've been watching where they haven't been releasing anything either. So
Yeah. Yeah, most of them are really thin and just real scraggly looking, but you know what? I have met some that are obese. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but that's what they are. I mean, I'm talking about some big people hooked on it, but 99% of them, they're all thin and they just look like they're hollowed out, but I literally have seen some that are some big people. So I guess it's just the difference in the people. Most of them won't eat, 99% of them, but then maybe it reacts differently on a select few. I'm a child of drug addicts. My dad overdosed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh
hey,
no,
Crystal.
found him. So sorry to hear that, Crystal. My mom became a crack addict for years afterwards. I know drug addicts lie. Yeah, honey, I completely understand. They do. And it's the lies that you would never think somebody could tell their own families and the things they do, but they do. They do.
Yeah, they actually lie when there's no need to lie. It's just to force a habit from doing
Yeah.
the drugs. So
It's just like that's the only way they know.
Yeah.
They only get skinny after they've exhausted all avenues. Really? That makes sense. Yeah. She left him there and crossed the highway. Yep. Amanda had more than one phone. That's a possibility. We thought about that too, like a burner phone, which are very common, very common. But yeah, looks like we lost Nellie again.
Yeah. Well, that's
Our
one thing
internet.
with the Chris Watts case, that I'm convinced that NK had a second phone because of her SIM card. Because with that, it makes no sense with her phone bill. On most people's phone, it tells you what kind of phone you're using, and
Yeah.
hers it didn't until she received her new phone, her Android. Then it said Android. But that'd be one way of breaking your SIM card, is jamming it in and out of telephones in a hurry. So
Yeah. That's very true. Okay, well, does anybody have any questions or have anything they want to say? I guess everybody was able to see the poll we just ended, and it was pretty much unanimous that everybody has, not everybody, but I think it was 75%, I think it was. Amanda and the boyfriend, yeah. I've tried
yeah,
to rule them out, y'all. I have. I've tried everything in my power to rule them out, and I can't. I just
more
can't.
Amanda than Andrew, because at least, well, Amanda, everything is just so put on. It's overreacting on anything and everything. So with Andrew,
Yeah,
he just doesn't care about life or anybody in general. So
yeah,
it's a typical meth head, though.
it is, and I think Andrew had I don't know, just from what little we know about his childhood and shit. I mean, it sounds like learned behavior, really,
Yeah,
and
yeah. By looking at his and his mom's
yeah,
record, yeah, it's the acorn didn't fall far from the tree, so it's more
mm-mm.
or less learned behavior.
That's what yeah, I mean, that's what I was picking up from it. And then to see that his mom, I mean, he's kin to the same last name as the sheriff. That kind of threw me back. But I mean, that's not saying that it's crooked or there's no. I mean, that's not saying that. I know people here where I live that were related to the sheriff, and the sheriff didn't give a damn if they broke the law; they was going to jail. So that's not saying they're going to get any favors, even if they are related. You know, I was just pointing out that they do have the same last name, but definitely not saying that that's gonna give them any favors. It's just,
Cherokee Raiders asking you to scroll up.
scroll up. Uh, let's see.
How far?
Let's see. Then she was given probation because she was under the influence. She left him there and crossed the highway. I don't know how far up, Dave.
Me either. She might have to retype again, because I went up to an oncoming train. So
Um, let's see. I don't know. I guess I missed it.
well, she's got
Cherokee, I'm
on here
sorry.
later on. I was explaining my grandson's murder. I'm sorry, Cherokee. I
Oh,
didn't.
no, I didn't see that, honey. I'm so sorry. I didn't see that at all. So sorry to hear that. Grandson.
My
Damn
grandson's
it.
story, Alexander's Crossing.
God, I couldn't imagine. Could not imagine. Also, Deborah was in the area checking out Habitat for Humanity. Amanda was transferring there from Maryland. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I figured that her mom was probably going to be bringing her around to try to find a job. Cherokee, I couldn't even imagine. I missed it, and we can only go
Sorry.
so far back. So
Yeah, I can't go up any farther either. I'm really
yeah.
interested though.
Hang on, Dave. Nellie's calling.
No, Cherokee, if you would like to email, maybe Kimberly if you want. But then again, you know how to get in touch with me too if you want to share more. That's one thing too. Also, Laura, that I heard, it's like we're that dollar store. It's only like minutes from the Habitat store, and that's where Amanda was working. That's right in Maryland. So everything fits for her to be up there and around there for only that one reason. That's for Amanda being there. Other than that, like I said earlier, she had 6 different dollar stores within like 15 minutes of where she lived. So that'd be the only reason whatsoever that she'd have to go up there. Oh, Cherokee, I see you. Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I just hope that they'll be acting on this case a lot sooner than they are in the other ones that we've been looking at lately too. So I'm surprised Sweet Pea's not here tonight. Her son was actually killed by law enforcement too, and everything was swept underneath the carpet in that one too. So looks like I got abandoned by both my co-hosts tonight. But hopefully there's nothing wrong. But has anybody have any other questions or want to add to the chat tonight?
Or does anyone want to come up?
I hear voices.
Can you hear me, Dave?
Yes, I can, Nellie.
Everything
Okay.
died. My phone died. My computer died. I was like, crap, I can't get back on. So I had to charge my phone for a little while so I could get back on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Sweet Pea's one of the OGs. She's been around here for quite a while. We really enjoy her in our chats. Did Kim go to let the dogs in, or?
Well, I called her, so I interrupted too. But yeah, I think she's getting the dogs.
Oh, cool. And I just didn't want to start talking about Watts, so.
No, I mean, we can talk about anything. She's, if people want to still keep going and switch to a different case, we're fine with that. Or if anyone wants to come up and talk.
Yeah,
I'm back.
case.
Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to come up, yeah.
I think
come
Tracy
up and give
wants
us.
to come up. She's laughing at me.
Yeah, anybody that wants to come up and give us y'all's theories, we would absolutely love to hear them. Let me put the link down here. We would love to hear them because this case has got us oh my gosh. We can't rule out them. And even, ruling them in, it's hard to do, but we just can't rule them out. That's the thing.
You see Cherokee's last comment? Second last, sorry. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Community donated $10 million to build a bridge over the tracks and named it, oh my goodness, 18 years ago. Bless your heart. That was very good of your community. I'm sure it's
Wow.
hard as hell to go by there, but that was a very good memorial, for them to do. That was very good. I'm so sorry to hear that, Cherokee. That is literally heartbreaking. I can't even imagine.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful tribute. Yes. I didn't know that. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's oh,
Thank you very much, Cherokee, for sharing that with us.
yes. So,
Hi, Tina and Pam.
let me see what I got over here. I was going to try to find. Has everybody already listened to the press conference?
I have, but that was when it first came out.
So you haven't. So do y'all want to listen to that and kind of go over it, or
Yeah.
we can do that because it is. They gave a lot, They gave a lot more than I thought they would. Usually, you don't get a lot in them,
Well, that's one thing that a lot of people were talking about is they gave so much and without any real evidence coming forward. And maybe that's might be why the FBI reached out to them to see if they needed some help, because it was of some of the stuff they said was a little premature.
Yeah.
Because usually you don't rule that it's a homicide unless it's like full of bullet holes or full of knife wounds and stuff like that right off the bat.
Think of it as he is saving lives. The community no longer crosses the tracks. Oh, yeah, that's true, and probably has many. So that's a great way to look at it, and it's a great tribute and memorial to your grandson. I can't even imagine having to. Oh my God, bless you. Hello, Tina and fam. It's good to see you tonight, honey. Okay, so let me stop that one and I'll pull up the press conference and we can look at that. I don't know. The daughter's interview was something to me too. I was like, I don't know.
It rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It didn't sit well with me either.
To begin with, I'd like to give you a brief synopsis of where we are to date on the investigation. The results of the autopsy are still pending. The results regarding the analysis of the items we've submitted to the crime lab are still pending. We are now just beginning to get responses to the search warrants and the subpoenas in the case to date. We can tell you that we have received additional footage from a security camera from a business near the Family Dollar store. That additional footage shows us that Edward Collier walked out of the Family Dollar store at 3:09, got into her van, and remained in her van in the parking lot for 10 minutes before leaving the parking lot and heading south on Georgia 15, Highway 441, US 23.
So see, that definitely puts her in that vehicle, unless, like Nellie said, there was a delay, and that could possibly have happened. I mean, it does happen, especially on those wire transfer apps. It does happen. Then Debbie was definitely sitting in that van. Now, they also say, if I'm not mistaken, in this conference, that Debbie was alone in that van. I don't know how they could confirm that with 100% because those back windows were completely tinted. They were black tinted. So I don't know how they could confirm that there was no one else in the van with her. I personally think there was. Yeah, we can confirm she went in there by herself, but we also know that the only reason they checked the Family Dollar footage was because Amanda told them
Mm-hmm.
that her and her mom had either went there or was going there to buy cleaning supplies. That's the only reason they checked the footage at the Family Dollar to begin with. It's
Didn't
because Amanda gave them that lead.
didn't Amanda make a comment that she was at the dollar store too?
She did, but now that's been retracted as well.
Wow.
Yeah, in her initial, she did. I even made a video about that. I don't know which one it is, but yeah, it's called Slip Up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she did, but now that's been retracted as well. So see, with them saying she was alone, I don't see how they can confirm that with those black windows. I don't see it. I don't think she was alone. I do think Amanda was with her, and I think that Andrew was possibly already down there setting up camp before it got too dark. I don't know.
And what did they do with her clothes? I want to know what happened to her clothes.
Yeah.
Why make her get naked?
Yeah. And some of them it says partially clothed, and then other ones it says nude. The police
Well, what the
report says
police
nude.
report says is nude.
Yeah, it does. And then you see some of these media outlets saying partially closed. I can't remember what they said in this press conference, if they was said partially or fully. I can't remember because I watched it like September the 30th when it came out. So I don't remember. So I'm going to be listening for that. But there's been no mention of her shoes or anything like that. We've actually looked at the red jersey laying on the ground and it's like in tattered pieces, which is odd. Like, why is there just pieces of it here and there instead of just burnt in one location? Pieces of it here and there. I mean, I don't know. Did they have a windstorm that night or like that theory we talked about in the beginning? Was it an explosion and caused it? I don't know. It's very odd. And for it just to be on her stomach, I also went through the whole thing in my head that, maybe somebody else already had a little bit of a fire going there, but maybe their lighter ran out of fluid and that's why she picked up this other one. And, they were lighting it. Maybe she fell into it and had to strip her shirt off because if your shirt catches on fire, what are you going to do? You're going to take it off. But
See,
there
that's
again,
why I was wondering.
Yeah, but you're not gonna take everything else off either.
that's what
I
I know.
don't know. The whole thing is just.
I know.
It doesn't make sense.
That's why I was wondering if she actually passed away there or they took her there.
Yeah. It would be nice to know if she had like her bra, her shoes, or if it just looked like she ripped her shirt off because it was blazing, But literally, like Nellie says, the police report says nude. What does nude mean? Define nude. It means nothing, right?
Because if they
Bare.
would put partially nude if it was
Yeah.
partially nude. They just put nude.
Yeah. It just says nude, period. You would think it would say nude except for shoes or something, but no, it says nude. And you look at nude and that is bare. There's nothing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what they said in this press conference. Do you? I mean,
No, I can't remember.
I
Just
can't
go ahead and hit
either.
play and let's see what they say.
Yeah.
Can you turn the
This
volume up on
tells
yours?
us that the time frame is
Nope.
actually narrowed a little
Okay.
further for this case to begin at 3:19 p.m. on Saturday, September 10th, and ending at 12:44 Sunday, September 11th, the time of the discovery. Please understand that this case is very complex in nature and has a lot of questions and unknowns that aren't found in a typical death investigation. It is going to take significantly more time than the 19 days that have passed since the discovery to solve this crime. We also want you to know that we are working diligently to solve this case. We are trying to obtain as much information as possible so that we can put together facts and evidence to support a motive and also to identify a person or persons of interest. At this time, I'd like to call up lead investigator George Kaysen to assist with answering the questions that you may have.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here, being part of this. Hopefully we'll be able to answer some questions.
Yeah, the sound on this is very, very low. People were saying they were trying to tweak it and everything, so it's you may
It's
have to
almost
turn
like
it
their
up.
mics aren't on or something.
Yeah, I mean, everyone may have to turn it up on their end, and I'll try not to pause and talk too much because I know when you do that, when you've got it up so loud, and then when my mic comes through, my mic's pretty loud, so it blares your ear. So, but I just want to let everybody know it's not me, it's this conference. The sound was not very good in it.
And give y'all some insight of where we're at and kind of what we're dealing with. First off, I want to start off by saying we have received a lot of questions that y'all have sent in. Some of these questions, the information that is pertaining to those questions is very sensitive information. We will try to answer them to the best that we can, but there will be information that we need to retain just for the simple fact of it being very sensitive, and we don't want our potential persons of interest to be able to get a hold of this information. Just so that way it does not jeopardize the furtherance of our investigation. As far as some of these questions that were asked, I'm going to kind of go through a list of them and try to give answers as best as possible to you. One of the first questions that was asked is, can you confirm the Venmo message from the daughter, from mom to daughter was sent to mom's phone? We're still waiting more information that we have requested to confirm or deny where the Venmo was sent from, but we can confirm that Amanda did receive the Venmo. She did receive money.
Vernon Central High School, how may I help you?
I'm calling to help you, actually.
Really?
That much we do know right now. Continuing on, our next question was, are you in possession of Collier's cell phone, and where was it found? Yes, we are in possession of that cell phone. We do have it in evidence, and it was located at the crime scene. The next question that was asked was, what was Collier's cause of death? And as Colonel Kogod mentioned, we are still awaiting the full report from the medical examiner's office. Once that comes in, we will absolutely update everyone on those findings. What records and data have we analyzed? Due to that being sensitive information, much as the disclaimer that I gave when I first stepped up here, we don't want to reveal any information that could possibly be a potential or potentially jeopardize our investigation where our suspects will get that information. There was a question about Deborah's phone records. We have served multiple search warrants on multiple different cell phone carriers. We are working with them to get all pertinent data from those devices and from those carriers. So hopefully we'll be able to develop more of a timeline, a better timeline, and hopefully be able to find out more information about what exactly happened. Inclusion of family members, a question was related to that, is that Right now, we have not ruled anyone out at this point. We have ever developing leads and are gradually having information that we have requested come in. So we're still in the process of trying to find persons or person of interest. And as that information starts to trickle in, it will actually help us develop more information for y'all to have. We're continuing to investigate Deb's activities from September 10th through the September 11th, which is also going back to the timeline. We're gradually just getting more information in. We want to know just as much as anyone else does, and we're working, as Colonel Kogod said, we're working diligently. We've lost a lot of sleep, as such should be, in this investigation. We've devoted a lot of time to this investigation.
Here's the hit piece. Here we go, baby.
They unearthed a Matt Walsh.
There was a question about what search warrants have been executed. As far as the search warrants that we have done, again, we cannot give that information out just for the simple fact that it may jeopardize and give the information out to possible potential persons of interest. And we don't want to basically show our hand before we have facts. And as Colonel Kogod said, a couple other questions that were kind of obtained as far as Deborah's timeline. We have obtained additional footage from the parking lot, as he described, where she is in her 2022 Chrysler Pacifica van in the parking lot of the Family Dollar, which is obviously joined by other businesses. We've obtained additional footage and found that she stayed in that parking lot an additional 10 minutes. From that 10 minutes at 3:19 p.m., she leaves the parking lot and begins to head southbound on Georgia 15, which is the main highway, the 4-lane highway that connects Rabun County to Habersham. She starts traveling southbound towards Tallulah Falls, which is just inside Habersham County. We are still in the process of trying to obtain videos from other locations and other businesses along that route, and we encourage any business along that route that might have cameras, please reach out to us. Look through your video cameras and reach out to us. That way we can have a meeting with you and see if we can kind of even narrow down our timeline even more. And as far as the timeline, the last time we know that she was alive was at 3:19, because we see her in that vehicle leaving the parking lot, heading southbound on Georgia 15. There was a question about our thoughts of this being a homicide. We have not changed our thoughts about this being a homicide. We're still treating this as a murder investigation, and we will not change that. We will diligently and continuously work day and night trying to solve this case and try to bring justice to Miss Collier and her family. A lot of the questions we got are kind of repeat. So if I do repeat some of these answers, I do apologize, but I'm trying to go through and trying to hit every question that was given to us. We're, again, going back to the cell phone providers and search warrants we've done. We're working with multiple different cell phone providers to obtain necessary information. All we know right now, as far as the Venmo message, is that, yes, it was sent to Amanda. There was a question in there as far as, do we know where the money is now? No, we don't. For the simple fact that we are still obtaining information, when it was sent, where it was sent, what device it was sent from. We're still trying to obtain that information right now. Yes, sir.
Question back, going back to what you were saying about the death and why you're confident that this is a homicide. Was there any signs of trauma to the body that clearly indicated that this was a homicide?
The only thing we know as right now is the burns of the body. We're still waiting for the absolute full report from the medical examiner's office. But nonetheless, because of the burns, we're still treating this like a murder. We're trying to investigate it as such. And we won't deter from that just because we're going to treat it like that investigation to get all thorough information.
And in the statement, it says, let's see, that this was, you're clear that this was a random act of violence. Generally speaking, if I say something is a random act of violence.
Let me stop you right there. Where did that statement come from?
It was not a random act.
Not, okay. My apologies. Okay. What, meaning that it was not could you be more specific? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. What does that mean? Does that mean someone knew someone?
No, what that means at this point is there is no information. I'm sorry. There is no information or evidence to this point that shows that this was something random, that there was something that was out, that was not from somebody that she either knew or somebody who she had some association with. That's what we're seeing at this time. So based on that information, we do not believe that this is a random act of violence. We do not believe that this is the act of a serial killer. We believe that this act was deliberate and personal. Okay.
Yeah, I saw you, Rachel.
Yes, sir. Michael Ruiz from Fox News Digital. I'm just curious if Debbie's purse was recovered at the scene.
Yes, it was. We do have that in evidence, and it was recovered from the crime scene.
Is that another purse than the one that was said to be left at her home?
That we're not aware of. We're still working on that, but we do know for a fact the video that was released of her being in the Family Dollar, that purse was found at the crime scene and is in evidence.
And one other question there is there anyone in that area that she is acquainted with? Is there a reason she would go up there dressed in her Bulldogs jersey on game day and drive an hour?
We're still trying to work with that. Again, like I said, as far as some of the search warrants and some of the follow-ups that we're doing, we're trying to obtain that information to see if she has any connections. If anyone, and that's one thing too, I'm glad you asked that. If anyone does have any kind of contact, we encourage the public as well. If anyone had contact with Deborah Collier during that time frame, as far as from September 9th all the way through September 11th, specifically around the time frame of 3/19 to Sunday when the body was found, if anyone had any contact or might have seen or talked to her, please, we encourage you to come forward and speak with us.
Investigator case in Troy Persona,
Yes,
Haversham. You mentioned that she headed south on Highway 115.
Georgia
after,
15, sorry.
Georgia, after
Yes.
leaving the Family Dollar store. Did the school zone cameras in Tallulah Falls School pick up
Yes.
her departure?
Absolutely. And actually, I'm glad you asked that. I do have something that we're going to make readily available for y'all when we're done with this press conference. We do have in our possession, this is an actual photograph from the Tallulah Falls school cameras. She was seen traveling northbound on Georgia 15, just north of our crime scene there, which is just south of Victory Home Lane. This is a picture of her traveling northbound on Georgia 15, traveling through these cameras at 2:17 p.m. on Saturday. Once we're done with this, I will actually tape it up here on the wall, so that way anyone and everyone can come up here and get a better picture of it, because I understand it's hard to see from here. So once we're done, you can come up and get a better picture.
Did you see her coming back southbound?
We have not. We have been in coordination with Chief Elrod from the Tallulah Falls Police Department. She has spent many countless sleepless nights looking through cameras, and that being one of the most heavily trafficked roads in Northeast Georgia, especially for travel towards the North Carolina mountains, there's probably in the upwards of 150 to 160,000 cars that come through there. So they are still looking through to see if we can find her coming back south.
I got a question about the van while on the topic. So according to the original report sent out, the van was seen by a Tallulah Falls officer sitting there on the side of the road around 5 o'clock Saturday.
I believe so.
And of course, when you all got there, the van was there on Sunday.
Correct.
Is it y'all's impression that the van was there that entire time, from 5 o'clock till?
Well, obviously, from our timeline, we know it wasn't there the entire time.
It was not there?
So
From 5 p.m. Saturday.
No, 5 p.m. Saturday
to 11-ish, 12-ish when you guys got there
Oh,
Sunday. Did it ever leave that location?
Now that we're not aware of.
Okay.
When you said the 5 o'clock thing, I didn't know if you were talking about Friday, but
Oh,
as
Saturday.
far as the timeline, the only times we can establish as far as that van is there is that we're still getting trickling information. I think there was another question in here, if there was any tips from the community that have helped us out. Yes, because it has helped us narrow down timelines. We're still following up to see if we can actually get confirmation of this van being there at certain times. But as of right now, from what we know, that van was there at the crime scene on Sunday is what we can confirm. Now, as far as her time getting back to the crime scene, we cannot confirm that. We're still working on leads and trying to confirm that information.
During the time that you say she was sitting in the parking lot outside Family Dollar.
Yes, ma'am.
She left at 3:19. At 3:17 is when this Venmo message was sent. And earlier you mentioned you're still trying to determine what device that was sent from.
Right.
Does that mean that you all do not yet know if she in fact sent that message herself?
Well, as the investigation goes on, I mean, we're doing a lot of search warrants to try to obtain any information that we possibly can. And as we know, as far as with the digital information and all the digital electronic devices we have these days, you can access accounts from many different devices, which is why we're going through the extent of being able to determine what device that Venmo was sent from.
And her daughter received that payment at 3:17. She said in the Athens Clark County Police Department report, when she reported her mother missing, that it worried her. She tried to call her mom on her cell phone. But two things. One, she had said that her mother only took her debit card and car keys. She didn't mention her purse. She didn't mention a cell phone. Also, it took her 3 hours, according to the timeline in the missing person report, from 3:17 to 6:01 before she actually reported her mother missing. Have you all looked into why there was a delay?
Yes, we have looked in, and again, we're still waiting for more information to come back. Again, with the search warrants that we've done, we're trying to develop those timelines and get confirmations of where these people were at, or anyone that was close to Deborah at the time. We're just trying to develop and get that information and get factual information, so that way we can actually start putting a basis to this.
Investigator, on the original incident report, there's a check mark about drug use. Was there any reason?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Colonel Kogod.
I can answer that. So patrol deputies, when they respond to scenes like this and they don't know exactly what they have, they normally mark whatever may be applicable. In this case, because it was so questionable and there were so many unknowns when we got to the scene, they marked it as a possibility that it could be drug related. However, at this time, the investigation is not leading us in that direction.
Is that another example of why there may not be an obvious trauma, like someone shot, stabbed, or,
Could be, but again, it's so preliminary in the investigation that we really can't make that determination. We just do not believe, based on what we have at this time, that this is drug related.
The tip that Amanda Bearden was at the Family Dollar, did that come from her? Did it come from somewhere else? And what is the significance of her not being at that location that Saturday?
I'll try to answer that best as well. So the tip, as far as her being at the Family Dollar, came from an initial interview to where she was talking about her and mother going to Family Dollar to buy cleaning supplies to help clean up her apartment when she got back to Georgia. As far as anything, as far as the Family Dollar visit, I don't think that actually came from her, right?
No, it come from a.
Yeah, come on. This is Investigator Garrison. He's also one of my team leads.
So I pulled the video footage from the store and talked with everybody from the store. Based off of that, with Miss Collier, she was there for that time period from 2:54 till 3:10. Got in her car at 3:10 till 3:20. It was asked that if Amanda was in there earlier, and Amanda, based off of our knowledge at this time, there was some confusion there, and the associate that worked there actually saw the mother and not the daughter. I was able to provide photos to that store clerk to confirm that, based off of what we were told, and she said, no, I remember seeing the mother, not the daughter.
Can you speak to whether Amanda Bearden has any acquaintances or friends, family in the area?
Like Investigator Kaysen said, we can't confirm that right now. I'm sure once we start getting some of these subpoenas and search warrants back on these phone records, we'll be able to give an answer on that at that time.
When was the last time Amanda told you all she saw her mom? And can you confirm a report that Debbie's husband, Steve, was working during the time of Debbie's disappearance?
All right, so what we can confirm as far as that question right there is that we know that Amanda talked on the phone with her mother on Saturday afternoon. I'll have to look back at my notes from the actual report itself to be able to give you some kind of actual time for it. But the last time she spoke to her mom was on the phone. As far as Steve working, we have pulled video from Synovus Bank where he stated that he was working that day because of being a UGA gang. He works for a private company called the Optimus Club that private contracts Synovus Bank's parking lot to park vehicles for the game day. They use that parking lot to provide parking for people coming to the game. We have confirmed that he was there from, I'm making sure I get the times right, from 9 to 4:06, 9 a.m. to 4:06 p.m. on Saturday.
I'm Nora Almazon with WCHM. Do you have any reason to believe that she could have met someone there where her van was parked?
I'm going to go back to the answer as far as we're not ruling anything out. We're still trying to develop leads. We're still following up on tips and information. We're still awaiting information back from search warrants and subpoenas that we have sent off. Once that, and for phone records as well, once that information comes back and we have time to actually analyze and go through the details, then we'll have a better answer for that.
Investigator Case, and I know you said that the state medical examiner's autopsy report has not yet been
Yes, ma'am.
completed, but in the report that you all released last week, you stated that Miss Collier's body was found down a ravine and she was grasping a small tree in her hand. What does that indicate?
I mean, that's a lot of different indications. I'll let you kind of talk about that.
At this point, we're not sure what it indicates.
Could she have been alive?
Very possible that she could have been alive at the time she went down the ravine. But again, the autopsy will help us to narrow down time of death, help us to narrow down toxicology reports, help us to narrow down other things related to the body itself that we don't know at this time.
So would that indicate, if she were alive, that she survived being burned?
Very possible. Again, very preliminary in nature.
Earl,
Yes.
as far as the crime scene itself, is that private property? Is it public right of way? Is it U.S. Forest Service, National Forest land, or?
I believe it's U.S. National Forest land.
Really quickly, Kara Stelter, Living Alive.
Yes.
In reference to the crime scene, it's mentioned that the purse that she had at the store was found there. Were any other items recovered, including the poncho she bought?
Oh, yes. So all the items that were purchased as far as from the Family Dollar that we can tell right now, again, we're still going through the investigation, but we can confirm that the majority of those items were found on the crime scene.
You mentioned a minute ago that Amanda had just moved back to Georgia. Where was she and when did she move back?
So this is what we can confirm. She lived in Maryland with her brother. She lived in I think the same apartment complex, correct? With her brother up in Maryland. City, I can't tell you what the city is because I don't have my notes and stuff in front of me, but I do know it's Maryland. She moved down here on the 8th, which would have been Thursday, September 8th, when she moved down here to Georgia. So we know that she was down here at some point on Thursday. Yes, sir.
You're clear it's not a kidnapping, despite the fact of that note with the Venmo note. Well, is that something that has made things particularly murky because that note seems to give the impression something was going on?
I'll tell you straight up, right here, as far as this investigation goes, it seems like once we get on track with something, like a curveball comes in out of nowhere. That's why we're staying diligent and trying to stay on top of things and following up with leads, because we want to make sure we get facts, specifically to give y'all. We want to make sure that we have all the information before we start pushing forward.
Did Amanda give any theory as to what was going on, why she would get that kind of message, especially now that we know that message was probably
and detail as we can on the ongoing investigation.
Is he here in Haversham?
No, ma'am, he has been called out of state. So he is not here right now. So it is now 9:30. Again, I want to reiterate to everyone that this is a very complex investigation. It has a lot of unanswered questions. It also has a lot of issues that you don't see in a typical death investigation. For that reason, it is going to take a significant amount of time, well beyond what we've had in the past 19 days, to solve this crime. But we are working diligently to do that. We are working diligently to determine a motive, to find people or a person of interest, and to bring a resolution to this case for Deborah Collier and her family. Thank you.
May I make a statement?
Sure, absolutely.
Also, going off of what he said, as far as in the 19-day investigation, to kind of more elaborate on that. This investigation is a marathon. It's not a sprint to the finish. We are going to make sure we take our time so that way when an arrest is made or when persons of interest are actually identified, that there will be ironclad information behind that and supporting our reasoning. We want to encourage anyone that has any information to please reach out. We are following up on any tip and any lead that we could possibly get. My opinion, and I try to leave my opinions out of this, there's no such thing as bad information as far as given to us to follow up with, because we're going to follow up and find out whether it's relevant or whether it's factual or whether it's pertinent to our investigation. So please, if anyone has any information, do not hesitate to reach out and speak with us. You want me to go ahead and just give them put our phone number out? My direct line is 706-839-0560. Investigator Garrison, who is my partner on this investigation, his phone number is 706-839-0559. Please contact us with any information. If anyone has had any kind of contact or has anything that might help us further our investigation.
That autopsy, when did you guys expect it to?
We're still waiting. We did have a meeting with them. They have prioritized things. So they initially gave us a 6-week time frame, but depending on how long it takes, once we get it back, we will have another update. I promise you that.
One last question, Chief Deputy Koch, I had asked you this previously, but why was the GBI not requested to lead this investigation?
Because the Habersham County Sheriff's Office is a full-service sheriff's office. We are a full-service law enforcement agency. We have a complete division that is dedicated to investigating crimes that occur here in Habersham County. It is made up of professional men and women, law enforcement officers who have received special training in death investigations and crime scene. However, as any law enforcement agency will do, we still reach out to our counterparts, be it the GBI, FBI, and private entities that have resources that can help us with situations or items that may need a little more expertise, that may need a little more knowledge than we have. We reach out to them, and all of our partners have been tremendous help and given us that guidance that we need when we call on them. So it's a total team effort. We are just the lead agency because we're responsible for investigating crimes here in Habersham County.
Oh, the video that you discovered, will that be available too?
Yes, we will make the video available. We will have it to you. If you will leave us an email address to send, we will send it to you by close of business today. Okay, thank you very much.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the reporters that were there did one heck of a good job on their questions.
Very much so.
I was very impressed with the reporters, actually. A lot of times they're there and they don't even give any questions that you really want answered, but these reporters were on it. But like in the comments, Cherokee was like, and then they pointed it out, this was not a random act of violence. And like she says, that does speak volumes.
And they said that there was no serial kill. It wasn't a serial killer or anything like that.
Yeah, deliberate and personal. So, that says a lot. It really does. Olivia says they were living in Steve's rent house when Amanda called the cops on him last year. So it's just confusing why they even went to Maryland. I'm not going to answer that. And I can't, of course, confirm or say 100%. My opinion, why they went to Maryland, is to get away from the law. Like, I have documentation and Andrew's police records, arrest records, that shows in April he was supposed to show where he went into a drug rehabilitation. He did not do that. That's why I always go back to the rehab. I think he did go get on that waiting list at that place, but there was like a 6-month wait to get there because it is a 6-month program. And I think my own opinion is that they knew that the judge isn't going to go for that. He's going to have to go to a more expensive one, or he's going to have to do something, but he's got to do that. Well, he didn't have the money to pay his fines, and I've got all of those records. I can pull them up if anybody wants to see them. He wasn't paying his fines. He was not going to take his ordered, here they call it color code, where you have to go and prove that you're not doing drugs, right? Because he got a DUI. It wasn't for alcohol either. It was for drugs. He wasn't doing none of that. So in my opinion, the reason they skipped out to Maryland until they got that call from the rehab on the 5th, this is my theory, that they was having a bed come open, but he was going to have to pay that first month up front because that is part of the regulations there. And then you pay the rest of it when you check in. That's why I think they went to Maryland. Now, I also have a screenshot of Andrew, and he wasn't talking very highly at all about Amanda's brother of the same complex they live in, and I'll pull that up as well in just a second. But so I don't think that he got along with Amanda's brother. Amanda's brother, I also have a screenshot of him saying that Steve was almost more like a dad to him than his real dad. So all that stuff is just bizarre to me, but as far as them leaving Maryland, they weren't there long because they were here in April of 2022 when he went to court and he got all that put on him, right? And then he was passing stuff until he finished one thing that he had to do with the court. But then he quit paying anything, and then I think it was for July and August, there was nothing. They were just gone. So in my opinion, from the way his police records look and all that, it looks like they probably didn't even leave Georgia till, say, around May or June of this year. So they weren't there very long. And Nellie, if you noticed just now in that interview, like he said that their initial tip for the Family Dollar came straight from Amanda.
Yep.
That's where they were going to buy cleaning supplies. Well, Amanda supposedly lives only like 2 blocks from that Family Dollar. That's what's been said by locals there.
Yeah, but the mom didn't buy anything cleaning supply wise, and she bought some weird stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. I think they also said that Amanda talked to her mom that afternoon. They didn't give us a time, which is horseshit, but they just said afternoon. Okay, there wasn't a hell of a lot left of afternoon. Okay, there really wasn't much hours left of the whole afternoon bracket from 3:20 when she left there until it becomes night, like 6, 7 o'clock. So there wasn't many hours left there. So, I mean, if it looks to me like if it would have been like at 12 or, noon, he would have said, yeah, we have confirmation that Amanda talked to her mom on the phone around noon. No, he said afternoon. So see that, to me, that sticks out. Here's what I think. I think 217 is when she was seen 12 miles from that Family Dollar, right?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get to the Family Dollar until I think it was 2:55 p.m. It's not going to take that long to get 12 miles, especially on a freeway, right? So I'm thinking she passed on by Family Dollar, went and picked up Amanda. Amanda said that he was going down in those woods to camp because he knew the cops were going to come there and get him because they knew where he lived. And he's going to go set up camp before it gets too dark. So Amanda just went with her mom, and maybe they stopped by Taco Bell, McDonald's, I don't know, somewhere right there, grabbed some food, stopped at the Family Dollar, and she said, can you just go ahead and pick these items up for Andrew? We can bring them on down there to him, and then me and you can just come back and get the cleaning supplies and things we got to have. But we need to get this to him before it gets dark or it starts raining too bad so he can set up camp. It's going to be getting dark soon. So possibly she just went in there, picked those items up for Andrew, because you could kind of tell when she opened that door at Family Dollar that, I don't know, to me it looked like she was kind of irritated. You know, she's just like, whatever, you know. So maybe she just went in there and picked those items up so they could just bring them to Andrew, and then they had planned to come back and do the cleaning supply thing, but they never made it back. See that, but there again, I don't know about the Venmo money or message, or I don't know. But I do believe that on September the 5th or maybe the 4th is when they called and told her possibly that there was a bed open up at that place. Because, I mean, you're not going to find a rehabilitation center, and that isn't all male too, but you're not going to find one that offers everything that place offers for $475 a month. Really? I mean, that the rehabs I've had to use for my daughter, $4,000 a month.
Exactly. They're not
Yeah.
cheap.
So I mean, he had his chance to get in that one, get everything off of him, but he wasn't going to have the money. I mean, maybe desperate measures. I don't know. Says they are still there in Georgia now, from what I understood. Yeah, from the way, I don't think it would be very smart of them to try to go anywhere. Plus, Amanda has put a sign on her door as of, I think, yesterday, maybe the day before, telling reporters to stay the hell away or she's going to call the law to them. Says, yeah, I'd read that. And it's just so odd that it's also odd we haven't heard from any of Steve's kids since they are the ones with the kids. I know. And there's also this thing going around. Have any of you heard about Debbie was in the process of getting custody of some little girl? Andrew's the one that leaked that out himself. Yeah, she was in the process of getting custody of I think it was a little girl, a child anyway. So I don't know if that could have been one of Steve's kids, but also I've seen where Steve's kids are just, do well for themselves. They have degrees and things like that, and they do well for themselves. So I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to get involved and just don't want no part of it. I don't know. Well, yeah, they can ask them to do a lie detector test, but to my knowledge, they can't force them to do a lie detector test.
No, they can't.
No, polygraph, it's not admissible in court. All they do is they use the polygraph to eliminate you as a suspect, and that's it. But then again, because it's not admissible in court, is because you can actually cheat the polygraph, just like Chris Watts did, because on his first attempt, he passed it. The second attempt, he failed it. So.
Yeah, and there's not even any proof that he failed it. We do have Tammy's word, but then you also have to fall back on the fact that law enforcement, absolutely legal for them to lie to media or anyone. So, I mean, there's no shown proof that he failed, but that's, I mean, it's a fact.
Yeah.
It is a fact.
Right?
Well, the time she talked to her is pretty important. I know, that's what I was thinking, Olivia. I mean, come on, when you say afternoon, when you say afternoon, what do you think? I think 2 to 5. That's always what I think. 2 to 5 is what I consider afternoon. You know, around 1, I'll say noonish, you know, a little after or a little after dinner, you know, but I just always classify afternoon as between 2 and 5. I heard that he went once, maybe just to sign up. And if you're talking about that rehab, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That would be the ideal rehab. $475 a month. Damn, you can't even rent a trailer in a trailer park for that, I doubt, you know? I'm just saying. And there's a lot of, I mean, they're really good there. I went to their website and they offer so much, you know? So, you know, if he was ordered there, that would be the ideal place to try to get in at. And you know, there's probably a waiting list. Of course there is. So I'm thinking maybe he put his name on that waiting list and they hauled ass to Maryland until a bed came open, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will. Let me pull up those screenshots because they're pretty interesting. Let me get to I have so many in here. Y'all see me flipping through them 100 miles an hour, trying to find the one I want. I got a bunch of them. But yeah, the one with the brother, he literally stated that Steve was more like, or has done more for him or something. Let me pull it up and I'll show you. There was another one I said I would pull up. I don't remember what it was, but and there's also that theory going around. I don't know if you guys have heard this one yet, but there's also that theory of maybe she was having an affair, which is I never have put much thought into that, but that is one of them that's running around out there. And somebody that knows her or her mom knew her or something, they were like, yeah, Debbie was known to have affairs, and that's the reason that her and her first husband broke up is because he caught her having an affair. But I hadn't really put much thought into that myself. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, can y'all see that? So this is a post that Jeffrey did, I guess, on the day they were married in 13. He said, yeah, March 13th. This is the day they got married. Today was a great day. Not only did I get to watch my mom marry a wonderful man who has done more for my family than my own father, but I've watched a couple whose love has endured over the past 9 years, despite life's ups and downs, grow to this point. I truly wish you two the best. So, do y'all read from this that these two has been together 9 years before they got married? Is that how you read that, or you read it a different way? Is that what it looks like to y'all? That they were together 9 years before they got married? I don't know.
That's how I'm taking that.
Yeah, that is what it looks like. But yeah, I mean, that's Jeff saying that, you know, so I don't know. Has done more for my family than my own father. So I don't know. From the way I understand it, Jeff and Amanda's dad, his wife just passed away as well as his mom recently. And, you know, but definitely he's not involved in this at all. I don't think he is either. But it does seem like that Jeffrey and Amanda may be closer to Steve. I don't know. If they were together 9 years before they got married, and then they've been married 9 years now, that would say they've been together like 18 years. So that's a long time. And then this is Jeffrey on last Mother's Day 2021. When I think about Mother's Day, I think about my mother and how tirelessly I've watched her give all to protect and guide me through this life. I couldn't be any luckier to have such a strong, resilient, and beautiful mother. I love you and cannot wait to see your face soon. I was trying to find the one about Andrew when he was just kind of bad mouthing the brother, saying that don't listen to much Jeffrey says because he didn't even talk to his mom for a year. So it looks like also Andrew's been around in the family for a good long while as well. Yeah. Andrew was sentenced to rehab in January of 2022. But he never would go, see. And then he did the evaluation at the end of April. And then he turned to improve, but he never did the 6 weeks of treatment. See, I think that he signed up for that one, and then they went to Maryland until a bed opened up. And that's, does that make sense? Because why else would they go to Maryland for only just a few months? Because we've got proof that they were in Georgia until at least, May, at least? See, here's one that was talking about that one theory of possibly it was someone she was having an affair with. I just have not put much thought in it, but it is a theory that's out there. Says, I think she was having an affair. My mom used to work with her, literally right beside her for years, and knows lots of men that she's dated in the past. Got a divorce from her first husband because he caught her in 2 affairs. I think it's very possible this was also a love triangle gone wrong. I know a person who is in contact with Amanda constantly, and I really, really don't think she done it, but time will tell. And then someone replies, I have not heard of that one. It's just weird how she sent her daughter money. And then she says, I think it is, but I think there's a lot that we don't know. So see, there again, there's no confirmation that that's even true, or what, I don't. But it is another one of the theories running around out there. And there again, it's one I haven't put much thought in. I was trying to find the one that Andrew was talking bad about the brother because it's just weird that they would live there with him, or close to him, and then talk shit about him like that. Unless they didn't get along. And that for the reason I think Andrew was abusive. Like all signs point to it, not to mention the pictures we have of Amanda, the protection orders. I mean, they gave her a protection order and then, well, she keeps going back to him. Hey, that happens a lot. That happens one hell of a lot. Just because they're abused and beat and get protection orders, that doesn't mean they're going to stay away from them. That's the heat of the moment kind of thing. They'll come back to them, they'll beg for forgiveness, and then a lot of them, even Stockholm Syndrome, they take them right back, you know. So just because she's still with him doesn't mean that he's not abusive. It would make more sense that Steve was having an affair and the younger woman was the one who was heard nights and weekends at their house by neighbors arguing. Maybe the mistress helped, huh? Possibly. And there again, that could also tie into the whole trying to get custody of this child. I don't know who the child was. I don't know if it was a relative or just a random child. I don't know. But she was trying to get custody of a kid because Andrew's the one that even brought that out there. Yeah, Steve is safe till 4:06, but at the same time, I think it gives him a little longer than that because if you'll think about it, like we were talking about earlier, that was game day traffic. So that would give him even more, in my opinion, of a timeline. And plus, where Debbie's vehicle was found, it would be like 120-mile round trip from Athens to where she was, and I don't see that he would have enough time. Well, he wouldn't, to get through that game day traffic and do anything and get back home. Yeah, custody can be very nasty. Love triangle is a possibility, especially with the neighbors saying a younger woman was seen there nights and weekends. Yeah, isn't that odd? All of our minds, or mine did, immediately when we heard younger woman, immediately went to Amanda, right? And our minds stayed there for a while until we found out that she was living in Maryland for at least, we know, 2.5 months. So she probably damn sure wasn't driving from Maryland to her mom's every weekend. No. So that younger woman being there every weekend couldn't have been Amanda. Who was it, you know? I find it odd that the media hasn't tried to interview her. Maybe they have. This neighbor that said that, maybe they have. But we've not heard, you know, we've not heard any more than that. And that's been what's put out in the tabloids and the newspapers. I don't care what law enforcement says. Steve can't be cleared yet. No, they said nobody. They said everybody's still a suspect. Nobody's been ruled out yet. Because he could have had someone, yeah, that's true, do his dirty work, or the mistress helped. Or maybe they was swinging for all we know. Right? You can't never tell. I mean, anything is possible. That's true. I think a lot of people assumed it was Amanda. Yeah, and I've tried my best to God, I've tried to rule her out, but I can't. I really want to, though, because I just don't want that to be Debbie's last moments, is her seeing her daughter betraying her and taking her life from her. Like, I don't want that at all. I would just, you know, I mean, if Amanda was involved, then I hope to hell that her mom didn't know it and she just thought maybe it was all Andrew. I just don't want to think her mom knew her daughter was betraying her that way. Yeah, it's hard to say. All right, y'all. Well, my panel has gotten sleepy, I think.
Oh,
and yeah. So,
But no, you're going longer than you usually do. So
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna call it, but I was like, well, maybe we can listen to the press conference together and talk about that for a minute and try to put some things together. But there again, I just definitely wanted everyone to know I was going to do that other theory video, but there's really no reason because I could not make the Venmo thing fit into my theory. And I still don't know what to think about that damn thing, but I can't get past the rehab. How him paying 5 more months of rehab would have costed $475. You know, there's many things I can't get past, and it seems like it can connect together. But then when you get that damn Venmo message, it just doesn't connect then. So even the time, unless, you know, like Nellie said, she could have easily logged into her mom's account from her own phone, or there could have been a delay, you know, all that's possible. I'll be glad when we get some more information on it. But maybe, you know, this gave all y'all a little something else to think about, put together, especially the part where did she stop somewhere between there and Family Dollar? I don't think so. I think she passed Family Dollar and picked up Amanda. I think that's where that lost time came from. And I think Amanda was in the back seat. Why would she get in the back seat? Because why would she take all the time to clean out the driver's seat if it was raining or whatnot? Why not just hop in the back?
yeah, and I can't see why they would say there was nobody else in that van, because them are limousine black windows in there, and even the picture, the only picture they show, it's the back of the van. You can't see through them windows either. So
Yeah, they're jet black. I mean, they're like grade 5 black. You can't see through them. And then also it was raining that day, so yeah.
yeah,
I seen somebody mention something about the custody. I'm gonna look real quick and see if I can find that screenshot before we log off, in case somebody wants to screenshot it themselves. Where Andrew was talking about her going through custody, trying to get custody of this child.
who knows? That could have even been her son's girlfriend they were arguing with, and that's who they could have been getting custody of a child from too.
Yeah, here it is. I got it. Let me pull this up real quick in case anybody wants to screenshot it. Yeah, he's just an ass. I can't even hardly stand looking at his stuff. But as you see, he's saying here, he says, that's really something my girlfriend would have to decide. It's her mother, not mine. And she just kind of wants privacy. And then it says, I'm not sure. I know when we were out of state, her and Amanda would talk on the phone a lot, and they were on good terms. But we moved back 2 days before this happened, so we wouldn't have been able to notice anything. We only saw her one time since we were back, and that was when she came over for lunch. Then he says, I don't think she acted any different, but I know that she had took the whole week off from work that week. I don't know why, but I do think it's relevant to the investigation. Okay, that's not the custody one I thought it was. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I have it. But if she took off the whole week for the investigation, what? I mean, it wouldn't have been her investigation.
No.
I just caught that. Like, I literally just caught that. I don't think she acted any different, but I know that she had took the whole week off from work that week. I don't know why, but I do think it's relevant to the Oh, okay. He's saying that her, yeah. Don't tell me I did not save that one. And then just as soon as we get done with this, y'all, I will find it. You know I will. Because that's what I do. Oh, this purse, the reason that is, I thought it looked like the purse she was carrying. That's a Kate Spade. I'm pretty savvy. I'm pretty savvy on purses. I have to admit, I like handbags. I've got a bunch of them myself. I'm a pretty big fan of MK. I got a lot of MK bags, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a Kate Spade bag. I guess I don't have it in that folder, y'all. I'm sorry. But there's definitely, it wouldn't be hard to find because it's out there. She was going through this custody battle and she was trying to get custody of some child. I don't know if it's I'm not sure if it's a family member or if it's a random child. I don't know. But from the way Andrew was talking in that post, that maybe it was ugly. Maybe there was some kind of argument with that. I'm a huge MK fan. Me too, girl. I got I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. 14 or 15 MK bags. It's crazy, right? Randy knows I love them, and that's just, he buys them for me for gifts, Andrew sounds like a bad seed and needs to be with his mom. Yeah. I don't get how they keep getting away with everything, man. I don't. Andrew got busted for DUI and what all was it? I've got it over here. What was it? It was DUI. It was something else that was pretty major. And tail light and something else. Two majors and two minors is what they were. So when he went to court, they charged him for the no tail light and they threw everything else. I'm like, what the hell? You're throwing all that out? And then he only has to spend 6 days in jail for not for violating a probation, not paying anything, all this kind of stuff. And then they still give him 20 days to get this rehab thing going that he was supposed to did back at the beginning of the year. I mean, how is him and his mom? I mean, around here, that wouldn't be happening. I mean, you might get slapped on the wrist once, but you ain't going to keep getting by with stuff. And then look at his mom. She had felony burglary, contributed, to a delinquency of a minor, all this kind of stuff, and nothing until they finally got her for trafficking. It's just, how are they keep getting away with this? I don't know. And no, I'm not saying that it's because her last name is the same as the sheriff's. I'm just saying they've gotten awful lucky with not already being put away. I mean, in 2021, they were both being some menaces, him and his mom. Maybe Amanda got a little heated about the custody when she was wanting help with Andrew. Yeah, true. True there too. And then Amanda and Steve could have gotten into a big argument, and that would have left Debbie sitting there having to put her referee suit on between the two, right? I mean, she was probably being pulled in every damn direction there was. And it ultimately ended up causing to take her life. That's so terrible. And the way she died, and I can't stand to hear anybody say, suicide, there's no way in hell. No way in hell. She looked like a classy lady, right? She really did. The way she presented herself, she was matched up. Even her daughter was looking for her at Ulta, which says, she's a pretty classy person. She cares about her appearance is what I'm trying to say. She wouldn't have stripped off all of her clothes to commit suicide. Just no. Plus they ruled out suicide. So I don't care who's saying it's suicide. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And it won't be suicide. It will not be ruled suicide. and they're waiting on toxicology, which tells me, just as he said, there was no preliminary. Like they couldn't tell. So she wasn't shot. You know, she wasn't traumatically beat up or anything. Unlike, say, for example, Gabby Petito. Well, we got the preliminary cause before we ever got the big cause. You know, we knew that she had been strangled. We knew it was homicide. And we knew there was blunt force trauma. We knew all that before the main autopsy came out. But there's no preliminary here, nothing. It's just, man, have you ever, with a case, Dave, really, have you? With so
Not
many,
really, no. There's just too many things they're hinting at, but not coming out and saying it too. So,
yeah. Wouldn't it be so much easier if that damn Venmo message wasn't there?
that's right.
I mean, come on. If that message wasn't there, man, we could fly with this. But that message and the time throws you backwards.
Yeah.
Every time, with every damn thing you can come up with. You can't come up with nothing that does not involve the daughter with that message. You just can't do it. And if you can, please show me, because I've damn well tried. Suicide was not what happened. I agree. It just ain't no way. No way. I mean, I think it's all women in here besides Dave, and there may be a guy out there. I don't know. And even Dave, any of us, would any of you, if you were going to do that, which we won't, but, you know, just saying, would you go to the woods, strip yourself? No. There's much easier ways, right? You would not want to be found that way. Not want to be found that way at all. Debbie was set up and she did not realize that she was buying her. I know it. Damn it. That's what, and I can't get over that. I believe Amanda was with her. I can't get past that. I can't get past the fact that I believe she picked Amanda up and Amanda was with her in that back seat. Well, we didn't see her. Why would she be sitting in the back seat? Well, that's just way too obvious, right? There ain't a person in here that don't drive their car and, you know, they're not used to having a passenger in here. There ain't a person in here that their passenger seat ain't their catch-all. We all do it. Dave, guarantee you something's in your passenger seat right now, right?
Yeah, I need a shovel.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Now, Nellie, she has her son with her a lot, so maybe hers may be cleaned out, right? But, you know, all of us that's used to not having that passenger, that's a catch-all, man. It is. And it's just easier to jump in the back other than move all that. That's why she was in the back, and you couldn't see her for the windows. And until I'm proven wrong, I'll continue to say that Amanda was in that car. And when I'm proven wrong, believe me, it's not going to hurt my feelings. It's going to make me feel one hell of a lot better. Because I don't want Amanda to be involved, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm afraid she is. Maybe it's unknowingly. You know, if she is involved, it would make me feel better that if it was unknowingly. But at the same time, even if it was unknowingly, then what in the hell is she still doing with Andrew? Right? If Andrew done something and Andrew set Amanda and her mama up to go up there and that shit to happen, then what in the hell is she still doing with him?
You got to wonder what they are actually doing too, because if Andrew's in all these different group chats and everything, what is Amanda doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think Andrew would have done took his ass to some rehab, but
That's
it
right.
ain't like they can use that money right now. Even if that's what it was for, they can't do that. For one, I think there's a freeze on the money if they hadn't already spent it before all this was found out. Probably put a freeze on it. You know, But man, I'm so afraid, Dave. That's the situation. I hope Amanda, it unknowingly happened, but at the same time, man, I still can't feel much sympathy for her if she's still with them and she knew it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the cops are pretty much telling us that this was someone she knew. It was deliberate. It was personal. All this, right? Everything points right to them, unfortunately, and I hate like hell for that, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, there hasn't been any mention of any life insurance policies as of yet, so who knows with that too. So
That's true too. I mean that's true too. We don't know where the insurance policies or nothing like that set. So if the motive was money and there was insurance and Debbie's got 2 kids, that's obviously where she would have her beneficiary set. But what did Debbie have? We don't know. Looked to me like everything they own was in Steve's name.
that's right. Yeah.
So, unless it was only money and not, not like estate things, who
Well,
knows,
even with that too, though, usually it goes to, it would go to Steve before it went to any of the kids, usually. So,
Well, I mean, not unless she's got them straight up named beneficiary, but if her and
sure,
Steve's
yes,
been together 18 years,
right.
and that's the way I read that.
Yeah.
He said 9 years for the last 9 years, right? And that was in 2013. So that's been another 9 years. So from the way Jeffrey's thing read, Steve and Debbie has been married 9 together prior 9. That's 18 years. They've been together a long time, And then sounds like Jeffrey really cared a lot about Steve. And we got to admit, Steve was doing shit for Amanda. He didn't have to.
Right. See, that's why I
Living
was
in.
wondering if this adoption was maybe one of Jeffrey's kids or something.
Well, I mean, I've even threw it out in my head and entertained the thought a little bit. Did Amanda have a kid? Like, did she? Like, we wouldn't know because
No.
it could have been taken from her a long time ago, and maybe Debbie was getting to see it sporadically, and now she was just going to try to get custody. I mean, hey, I'm a grandparent that got custody because of problems with the daughter. So did Amanda have a child? Maybe, is that the child? I don't know. And if that's a possibility, then yeah, that can cause some badass blood because me and my daughter went through hell over that. Believe me. Oh my God. But
then
yeah.
again, you wouldn't have a young woman arguing with her before Amanda even showed up. So it has to be somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. But then again, how credible is this neighbor?
That's right. It could be another nosy Nate and hear NK and Chris fighting, thinking it was
Yeah.
Shanann and Chris,
Yeah, I mean, there's just we don't know how credible the neighbor is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but wasn't there 2 neighbors that said they was hearing them arguing that one night on the 9th? It seems like I don't remember. I don't know, but hell, is it Amanda's kid? I mean, it looks like Andrew and Amanda's been together for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
At least since, what was it, 20? At least 2 or 3 years, 2 years. Well, is it their kid? Who the hell knows? I mean, you can have a child and it be took at birth if you test positive for drugs.
Yeah.
At birth, the CPS can take it right then. And those family court procedures take a while, especially during COVID and all that mess,
Actually, that last one I was talking about, the one in the microwave, is that they never even tested her at the time of birth, but yet the kid was full of, I can't remember, it was 3 or 4 different narcotics. So they didn't do a testing on that one.
See? Yeah. And a lot of times mothers don't even get to bring their babies home because,
Yeah.
So for all we know, it could be Amanda and Andrew's kid. But yeah, there's definitely was a custody battle going on at this same time too. And ironically, nobody knew that until Andrew brought that out himself. And after he brought that out, people were telling him, maybe he needed to stop talking so much,
Yeah.
So I found that pretty interesting as well.
But by doing that, it actually shifts the blame to somebody else or another reason not to look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just like Dude said a while ago, man, every time you think you're getting somewhere, there's a curveball, or as I call it, a stop sign. And it just puts you on a whole different path. You're talking about a damn rabbit hole. I'll be glad when we hear something else on this. I mean, just little bits of things. We could probably put a whole lot more together with it. Just knowing what phone sent that Venmo, that could really say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I mean that custody thing, Tracy, Andrew brought that out, and now it's being talked about, pretty good bit in that one Facebook group. I can't remember which one it was. It's a Debbie Collier Facebook group. It's being talked about sporadically there. Debbie's got family there. If I'm not mistaken, the name of that group is the Debbie Collier case. That's it. And yeah, some of Debbie's family's in there, and Andrew was in there, and that's when he started talking about the custody. And then he just kind of dropped out. I haven't seen him in there in a while, in like a week maybe. That's definitely one of the things out there is that custody. And like Dave said, he could have just been throwing that out there, but I don't think he would have lied about the custody part because that would be easily found out. But he could have just threw it out there to try to put the heat somewhere else, like get it off of me, go over here. But there's no way in hell to get it off of them when you follow the facts. There's no way. Can't do it. But Andrew in the interview said that the custody case should be looked at because he thought, yes, you must have saw that too on Cherokee. Yeah, he did. He said that could be a hell of a motive.
But so is that money.
That's true too. The money, the whole life insurance things, that could be a big deal. Who knows, I don't know. Yeah, Tracy, if y'all hear anything about that or anything else about that, shoot me an email because I'm real curious about that as well.
So what do you think of your other case there with the new footage that they show where the car light's going into the water?
Yeah, that weather cam footage.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it, Dave. I really don't. I mean, it's timeline adds up, and it looks like one car turned where she went straight. And I don't know, maybe she was intoxicated and missed the turn. I don't know, but it looks like she would have followed the rest of the traffic.
Yeah, or that other car was actually somebody from that car could have just pushed their vehicle into the water too. And then it looked like they were driving.
True too.
Because when they pulled that car out, all four tires were turning. So it was probably either in drive or else in neutral. So
yeah, I believe it was in neutral. Of course, I kind of stepped away from that case when it started getting so, oh my God. It started turning into Summerwell's 2.0.
Yeah.
So I kind of just jumped away from it because I don't know. I wasn't comfortable talking about a bunch of kids. And I know they're 18, but
yeah, they should have been looking at the adults before they looked at the kids. So
Exactly. And I know 18's an adult, but you tell me one 18-year-old that is an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of walked off that case. I mean, publicly, I still look at it personally, but I just didn't want all the drama that was around it. I got a lot of respect for AWP and they were really getting slandered on too. And I did not want to come back and start, the way I really felt, the way the mom was acting. So I just like, yeah, I ain't getting involved in this. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
But see, that one there is at a standstill too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I still look at it personally, but this one, there's no kids here.
Nope.
And I really want to see justice for Debbie. And I just hope to God that the last thing she was seeing was not her daughter betraying her. That's really going to hurt. That's really going to pull at my heart if it was.
Hi, Lola.
Hey, Lola. Well, she caught us just as we was leaving. We've been here way longer. This is like my second longest live ever.
Holy smokes. 3.5 hours.
Wow. Yeah, this ain't like me. Yeah, I just wanted everybody's opinion. See what everybody's thinking. If y'all come across anything that's interesting, shoot me an email. Let you know. Yeah, very few 18-year-olds. Ain't that the truth? I mean, when I was 18, I already had 2 kids. Things are just different now, aren't they? So different. But yeah, it is what it is. Just a different generation, different times. Yeah, Lola, it's been pretty interesting. Maybe you'll hear something you didn't already know. I mean, that's always our hope. Every time we have a live, maybe somebody will hear something they wasn't already aware of, and it can help with some thought provoking. Get your wheels turning. So, all right, y'all. Well, listen, all of you that follows the What's Wednesday, make sure you're around for that Wednesday night. And probably around 9, around the same time we usually do it. Can't hardly do it much earlier for a few reasons. One, we're doing things here. Y'all know I homeschool. Nellie's doing her cooking. Dave's doing his cooking. We but around 9, all the other lives are just about to wrap up. So, we don't like to step on nobody else's toes either. So join us for What's Wednesday. And thank all the mods for being here. I want to thank you all for showing up tonight, being with us. Dave, Nellie. I think Nellie may have already fell asleep. Bless her.
Yeah, at least she's not snoring live.
Yeah, she's probably already taken her medication and out.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. Well, everybody, I hope you have a good night. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate your support. And we'll see you guys, on Wednesday evening or Wednesday night. And we'll see you all soon.
Take care, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave us a comment below on your thoughts of this video. And until next time, this is UnJustified.